the yardage. Here comes the midshipman of head coach Paul Johnson. And the Red Raiders of head coach Mike Leach. The EV1.net Houston Bowl, Navy and Texas Tech. An offensive buffet is straight ahead. Here in Houston, Reliance Stadium could see the largest crowd in the brief history of this bowl. Two football teams defined by their ability to score points and gobble yards. Navy meets Texas Tech. The EV1.net Houston Bowl is here. Welcome, everyone, to Houston. I'm Jeff Ullinger, along with Andre Ware and Craig James, a couple of Texas natives to my right. And we are going to see a football game here that should be a lot of fun to watch. You're talking about teams that really get it done offensively, but their approach to the game of football very different. B.J. Symons has put together some mind-boggling numbers.
Yeah, he really has. He's had a magnificent year, a magical year for a quarterback, over 5,300 yards throwing in the air and 48 touchdown passes. He's not alone, though. He's got 5 receivers that have 68 or more receptions for the season. So Texas Tech, they score in a hurry, and there's nothing more, Jeff, that they'd like to do than to get this thing and make it a track meet this afternoon.
On the other side, Navy, they want to make up those long drives going, Craig James, and they can do it because they're #1 in the nation in rushing at 326 per game.
Yeah, pretty impressive numbers. Don't you get the feeling Mr. Heisen here is partial to these passing numbers at Texas Tech? I'm going to have to keep him at bay today.
You gotta love them.
Let me show you what Navy does, and they do it by way of ground. At Navy, they can run the football. Their total offense, nearly 3,900 yards, 13 on the rushing, and that ground attack today really is going to test Texas Tech. It's very important for Navy, in my mind, offensively today. Third downs, they have got to be very efficient and effective and convert. And they have to score touchdowns when they get in the red zone, which they do most of the time.
All right, we're ready to play football. Underway at Reliance Stadium, the EV1.net Houston Bowl. And Texas Tech with a football first on special teams. It's Wes Welker, the special team star, and there is a penalty flag on it there for return of 21 yards. B.J. Symons, the Houston native who attended Cypress Creek High School, part Ty Detmer, part Cliff Kingsbury, part Andre Ware, will lead the offense.
Yeah, he has had that magical season that we talked about. I mean, that's a lot of yards for a quarterback, and he's just had fun distributing the football around, not one guy over the other. Welker has had 90 receptions, but he's been magical.
So the penalty will go against Texas Tech.
Holding on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Great day for football here. 58 degrees. Our temperature, humidity around 40%. The wind's very slight, 7 to 9 miles per hour, and we are expecting nothing but sun and clear blue Texas skies.
And we're expecting to see a lot of white jerseys covering a lot of territory in that secondary today.
Texas Tech making their 4th straight bowl appearance, trying the best streak in school history. First and 10, up in the air, and it's incomplete to Henderson. So we'll take a look at the backs and receivers. In this offense, everybody gets a touch. 5 Red Raiders have 68 catches or more. Wes Welker, who took the opening kickoff, is the big play target, and that's who B.J. Symons will be looking at most of the afternoon. And up front, very good here. You don't put up the kinds of offensive numbers they do without the big pass-blocking sumo wrestlers. Center Toby Green is the leader, kind of a Jake Grove type. Out of Virginia Tech, of course, great star. 2nd and 10, firing, and it is complete at the 22-yard line to Nehemiah Glover. He gets 8 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 2, tackled by Josh Smith. Navy is 4th in the nation in pass defense. Ralph Henry is the cousin of the NFL player Courtney Brown. And they'll need to be busy. The linebackers are active. Eddie Carthon from Donaldson, Georgia, co-captain, one of the best football players on the roster. And the DBs are fun, too. Josh Smith had his appendix removed December 3rd. He plays with padding. A legendary Indiana schoolboy athlete. More on him in the broadcast ahead. Here we go. A handoff. Trying to get that first down is Henderson, but he runs into Josh Smith. And he gets 2 yards.
You know, Texas Tech came out, and Symons throws an incompletion on first down, comes back and hits the second one. You just wonder if they're going to come out if they're rusty. A passing team like Texas Tech, having been off for 3 weeks, is a long time.
Yeah, and you know for sure Mike Leach did not want to have to punt after 3 downs in this game. It sends a message to Navy that, that he feels like, they have a chance over there.
Well, it's 4th down. It looks like they're going to go for this, Craig.
You like that idea or not?
We'll see.
It's a big gamble.
We'll see. On 4th and 1, here's the pitch. It's Henderson, and Henderson, second effort. It looks like he gets the first down. I'll tell you, the initial hit looked like he was stopped short of the first down. Reggie Seeley hit him but couldn't hang on, and the Red Raiders with a first down.
It certainly looked like he was stopped short, but that sends a message from Texas Tech. They came to this football game to win it. I mean, down here inside your own 25-yard line, you go for it on 4th down. That sends a huge message.
And you saw the safety support on this. The guts of that call right there, it does send a message. And Navy looks good on defense, but that's got to be a play he finishes off.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. And here comes Wes Welker. And good pursuit by the Navy defense. Vaughn Kelly leading the midshipmen. He gets 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Wes Welker's one of those guys that he can do it all. 26 rushes to go along with 90 receptions on the season, almost right at 1,000 yards, 992, and 9 touchdowns receiving. But he can run the football there, like you saw as well. 26, he averages 5.5 yards a carry when they decide to give it to him.
2nd and 6. Symons swinging it out. It's complete, and some running room. Enough for a Texas Tech first down. Henderson runs into Josh Smith. His 3rd tackle of the game. He gets 7.
You know what really is just interesting when you watch Texas Tech is to see their offensive splits.
Yeah.
I mean, you used to have the old coaches. Look how spread out they are. I mean, this is a team that is so spread out that the defense has to cover from sideline to sideline.
It's when they run their screen package as well. It allows linemen to get out faster, and then defensive linemen got to go a long way, Craig, to get to the quarterback. So it allows for some tough. When you're talking about rushing the passer, you got to go a long way to get there.
First down for the Red Raiders. Here's Symons. Plenty of time across the middle. It is complete. And Cody Fuller making the catch. He gets 8 yards. So they are moving the football very well after getting the 4th and 1 to keep it rolling.
When you talked about the crossing route, the way they're going to come across the middle, watch the coverage of the linebackers. Look at the depth of the linebackers. When they're out here, they need to come on up. They need to get a little bit closer. They need to stay close to those receivers.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Come up, you see guys crossing, all of a sudden it goes from being zone to man. You got to get as close as you can and rally up and make tackles as soon as possible.
They play the drive coming up. 2nd and 2 from the 45-yard line. Now shotgun formation for Symons. Complete. First down. Wes Welker. He's into Navy territory to the 44-yard line. Bobby McLaren on the stop for the midshipmen. He gets 11.
You know what I see, Andre? This Navy defense may be afraid of the big play.
Yeah. And you know what? That's what they talked about all week, trying to keep things in front of them. There you see Welker uncovered, and they just going to raise up and give him the football. If you take a gamble, if you leave him uncovered, any one of these guys that are on the inside, B.J. Symons, that's a gimme. That's an extended handoff, but they love to do it. It's a gimme play. It's going to get you 5-6 yards every time.
Welker, 47 consecutive games with a catch. He's tied with 3 other receivers in Division I. And they'll keep it on the ground. Here's Henderson. Some great moves by Henderson. And spinning. And finally is brought down by Brazier, the left cornerback, and he gets 9 yards.
Yeah, you talk about Navy being the 4th-ranked pass defense in the entire country. They hadn't seen anything like this Texas Tech offense. So, I mean, it's just like taking a calculus test without studying for it.
Yeah, and then trying to figure out how to stop somebody like Henderson on the ground who's got good shifty feet, and we've already seen the strength that he has in his legs, Jeff.
All right, here we are, 2nd and 1 from the 35. opening series for Texas Tech from Houston. On the ground, it is Henderson hit hard, and a late penalty marker comes flying. He's got plenty for the first down. DeJuan Price, the rover, made the stick. Gain is 7, but we'll wait and see what the second penalty is of the ball game, and it too is against Texas Tech.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul. Still second down.
Our officials out of the Pac-10. Mike Leach, the head coach of Texas Tech, one of the more intriguing characters in college football, graduated from Brigham Young in '83, didn't coach football, didn't play football there. He got a law degree from Pepperdine. In fact, he is one of only 2 head coaches in Division I that hold a doctorate degree.
He's a rugby player at BYU, and he said that, I wasn't good at one specific thing. I was kind of average at a lot of them, so rugby fit my game better.
Now he's a mad scientist.
That's funny as that. A native of Cody, Wyoming. Second down, trying to set up the screen. They run a lot of these. Here is Nehemiah Glover. Glover with a running room. And Glover is brought down at the 27-yard line. He gets 15. Eli Sanders, the rover, making the hit for Navy, but a lot of what Texas Tech does is courtesy of the screen.
Well, and up front, Navy's going to do a little crossing. They're going to try to cross and confuse Texas Tech's offensive line, but when they do that, they've got to make sure they're seeing the game as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And they pick it up, but then here at the screen, the thing that's most important when you catch a screen pass, don't pitter-patter around, get north and south with it. That's what Nehemiah Glover does. And boy, Texas Tech is on the move.
How about Symons on the drive? 5 of 6, 48 yards. And he's got 4 wide receivers. Now back under center. On first down, quickly, near side, caught by Nehemiah Glover, and Glover gets 5. Vaughn Kelly came up to make the stop, but it is a combination right now of run and pass, and Navy is trying to guess where that football's going right now.
Yeah, Mike Leach offensively, he's calling a fabulous game. They gambled on fourth down, but mixing the run with the pass, and Navy came in expecting, so they're dropping a lot of guys off. I'm not going to throw in the coverage. I'm just going to hand it off. You're only rushing, 2, 3 guys, 4 guys maybe. We can block those up, and there's some big plays in there.
Second and 5. In trouble is Symons on the move. Plenty of real estate in front of him. He'll keep the football. First down. Texas Tech run out of bounds along the far sideline. He gets 9 yards. Eddie Carthen was putting the pressure on B.J. Symons. He felt it and scampered to the right side and got the first down for the Red Raiders.
Navy's defensive line, we showed you the crossing stunt they had in the middle a while ago. This particular play here, they lost containment. You've got to be aware of the coverage in the field and how you have to stay outside. Defensive end came hard inside and opened up the outside for Symons.
You're right. If you don't get any push from the middle, and then all of a sudden your outside guys start getting pushed inside or clamped down inside. Now the quarterback escapes out, and you really got some problems.
We were talking about Navy at the outset with the long drives. How about this one for Texas Tech? 14th play of the drive coming up. Symons with time. Swings it out. It's caught by Henderson. And there are 2 penalty markers at the 11 and at the 8.5-yard line.
Well, this play was all B.J. Symons. You're going to have a flag here, but he did a good job as a quarterback looking the area outside guy to the curl and took the defender where he wanted him to go. And just touch it out there to your back and let him work for you.
Yeah, a little clip and no.
Third penalty against Tech.
Now, this is what Navy wanted, Craig, was to make Texas Tech work the ball down the field, but it's better to give up 3 points than to give up the big one.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul, still first down.
And this is where now that 3 points you're talking about, okay, now they're inside that red zone. Navy's defense has dropped deep on every pass. They've really made sure they've gotten back and not allowed the big play. Now they're going to have to start playing a little bit more match up.
So that'll mean first and 16 from the 19-yard line. Here comes the blitz, setting up the screen. Henderson. And good job by Navy. A hit by Josh Smith from Attica, Indiana. Tremendous basketball player. Tremendous football player at Indiana high school level.
Yeah, he does a good job. Cody Campbell, the left guard, pulls around. Jack Smith makes him miss. Slides underneath the block, and I'll tell you what, he made that football play by dodging the block of Cody Campbell. Comes up, he is quite an athlete.
Football version
free safety,
of
yeah.
Steve Alford, I think.
Right.
All right, here we go. 2nd and 16 from the 19-yard line. A lot of friends and family here. B.J. Symons, the Houston native, all day in the pocket. He'll keep it. And inside the 15, loses his helmet, runs into Bobby McLaren. But B.J. is okay. He is up.
Yeah, he was at the luncheon the other day, and he said, you know, we're going to win, and we're going to win big. And Paul Johnson, his only response was, well, we signed up for this, baby. We may as well come in here and play. We'll see what we can do.
That was pretty funny reading Pistachio sitting on the bench with Johnson yesterday. You know, it was fun listening to him. You might as well come on out and play, fellas. We're already here.
We signed up for it.
Paul Johnson, an old-fashioned football coach. A good one. Won national championships at Georgia Southern in 1AA. 3rd and 11. Symons, plenty of time. Man open. It is caught by Francis. And Francis gang tackled short of the first down at the 7-yard line. Led by Brazier, who came over there. Pickup of 6 yards for the Red Raiders.
And really, Navy, what became successful for them, they're going to rush 4, and they're going to drop 7, Andre. And at the last 2 or 3 plays, it seems to have worked pretty good for them.
Well, it does. It's because they're down here in the red zone, and when you see them drop off, now all of a sudden everybody's got to rally to the football, and they do it. They come in tack and gain and get there, rally up, and make a for sure tackle, not giving up a first down.
Kicker is Keith Toogood. This will be a 22-yard attempt. He's from Dallas, a freshman. That's the Tech single-season record, 61 of 65-point after attempts. Here is the field goal, and it's no good. Keith Toogood, not too good there, missing the field goal, not as the name implies, at least early here in Houston. A lot of different things in this football game that we hadn't seen before, but 17 plays, 79 yards in almost 8 minutes, and Texas Tech gets nothing out of it. So the Navy, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Craig Candido, and he wants to put it up. It is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Let's go to Dave Ryan downstairs.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much. We are more than 1,400 miles from the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, but still, there's a very good Texas flavor on the Navy roster. In fact, 19 players hail from Lone Star State, 9 of whom are from the Texas area. 3 offensive line starters are seen for the first time that are out there, Nick Wilson, Dennis Ray Phillips, and Casey Hughes. What a treat for them to spend the holidays at home and then get a chance to be in their backyard for all the bowl prep, guys. The only trouble, I'm out of tickets. They only had 4 each, so they had trouble getting enough for all their family and friends.
Candido in trouble, and down he goes at the 15 by Adele Duckett. And Duckett is a player to watch today. 14 sacks. That is a Texas Tech record. He leads the Big 12 in that department.
Yeah, he's a guy that can get to the passer, but he won't have to worry about that a whole lot today. It's going to be run stoppage that'll be on the mind of Adele Duckett.
Duckett just overpowered the pulling guard. I mean, that guard's got to get out there and expect Duckett's a big, strong, physical, quick guy.
Yeah, how about Navy coming out throwing on first down?
Oh, yeah. Candido, the most decorated Navy quarterback since Roger Staubach. The handoff up the middle to the fullback, Kyle Eckel. Eckel pounding and charging ahead, getting close to the first down, but there is a penalty marker on the turf. Brock Stratton, the middle linebacker, making the hit. And they have picked up the flag, so no harm, no foul to use the basketball term.
Well, I mean, he's going to take, Paul Johnson's going to take a page out of Mike Leach's book on 4th down and go for it. How about that? We came to win, too. Hey, man, Happy New Year.
Kyle Eckel is the feature back in this offense. Keep your eye on the quarterback. Here is Candido, and he is swarmed again. Brock Stratton is there making the hit. And I think he's got enough for the first down.
How many times in the game, first quarter, do you see both offenses go for it on 4th down around the 20?
You're going to challenge me? I'm going to challenge you right back. Candido right here, just almost like a quarterback draw. The leading with the fullback and fake it in there and follow the big guy into the hole.
So,
I like it.
First down for Navy. Both teams gambling early in a wild first quarter. the middle. Nothing for Kyle Eckel. And nothing there at all. The offensive line, slim and mobile. They play very well together in this offense. They have to. The right tackle, Casey Hughes, is a Houston native, and he is pumped up about getting to play in this marvelous facility here in Houston.
Talk about the Navy offensive line. They average around 260 going up against about 290 at Texas Tech. So there's definitely a weight.
Yeah, hard to get some push.
2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line. Candido. He'll keep the football. He's got some room in Texas Tech territory and thrown out of bounds by Chad Johnson. 30 yards and a first down for the Midshipmen.
Andre, this offense is built around deception, right? And it's really about discipline on defense. If you don't have it, you're going to get beaten. We've seen a couple runs up the inside, and now they pull it on the corner.
Well, when you have success, Craig, running the football with the fullback, then all of a sudden you stick it in there. Linebackers crash down, defensive linemen crash down. All of a sudden, now the quarterback can get outside on the edge, and you see it there with Candido.
And remember, Texas Tech's defense 110th in college football. 1st and 10 for Navy. Candido with the football, and he goes down. This time it's a loss. Duckett gets to him again. It's a loss of 4. When you talk about the Texas Tech defense, there is a lot of youth for the Red Raiders, so a lot of optimism for better times, at least defensively, in 2004 and beyond. They are 91st against the run.
You talk about youth. There are 11 freshmen that play on this Navy ball club, and boy, you talk about coming back next year, when those guys have experience, they're going to be even better next season, I think.
2nd and 14 for the Navy. Candido keeps it. Again, has some room. This time, inside the 35, down to the 33. John Saldi making the stop. Well, the defense for Texas Tech, we've already seen Duckett. He is the sackmeister on this club, but Andre makes a good point about, look, they're not going to be throwing the ball that much. He's going to have to do a much better job against the run. The linebackers, John Saldi is the son of the former Dallas Cowboy and Chicago Bear, Jay Saldi. His mom is a Texas Tech grad. And the DBs, the leading tackler, Ryan Aycock, 97 tackles, 6 interceptions. You worry when your safety is your leading tackler.
That's right. That means somebody broke the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and 3, Candido keeps it. First down and a lot more. Down to the 22, he runs into John Saldi. 9 yards for the Navy quarterback.
You know what? You really have to respect everybody, all those slot backs, the fullback. 4 guys on this team right now for their careers, Craig, have rushed for over 1,000 yards for this Navy ball club. Then all of a sudden you throw in the quarterback, and he's leading it up through there. Boy, what a fantastic leader, Craig Candido.
And you know what? I'm telling you, in this game, the slot backs will have an opportunity to catch a big ball off play-action pass.
Yeah.
First down for Navy. Their first drive of the ball game. And pushback is Craig Candido. He runs into Ken Scott, the freshman from Newton, Texas.
You know, you talk about having discipline. There's nothing more frustrating for defensive linemen than a team to line up and just go right at you, misdirection a little bit, and run the football and be able to do it effectively. Then all of a sudden, you start getting out of those run lanes and things start to break down a little bit. That's when Navy will hit you.
And it's like a defensive lineman in this game. They feel like, it's a dog in the pasture, found a big bag full of food. All of a sudden, there's nothing in it. When you open it up, right?
That's right.
I think you have to be you got to be from Texas to understand that.
Andre and I are right on time.
Here's Candido, the pitch. Oh, look at this. Tony Lang inside the 10 down to the 8. He gets 15 yards. And this may be one of the few football games that I can ever remember where each team got one possession in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I think it's important for Navy, though, when you have a drive like that, Texas Tech eats up over 7 minutes. They go down, and you hold them scoreless. Now, all of a sudden, you have an opportunity to draw first blood on the scoreboard. This is huge for this Navy football team.
Tony Lane out of Rennes, Georgia. First and goal from the 7. Navy trying to get on the board here against Texas Tech. And right up the middle, Kyle Eckel finds nothing except red jerseys. Maybe about 2, depending on the spot. And inside of 2 minutes in the opening quarter, tackled by Chris Hudler.
And now Mike Leach and his staff will have to figure out how Navy's blocking on this option perimeter game. That time the wide receiver came and cracked the safety on the inside, so they're doing a little cheating out there. They're working, trying to get the angle.
And you know what? When you have a little room and you're coming down cracking like that, all of a sudden when you start to expect that crack and the guy comes down, releases up the field.
Oh, yeah.
That's when those slot backs get into the mix.
Second and goal from the 4. Penalty marker. And Eckel wrapped up by Fred Dreek of Midland, Texas, the nose tackle. We've had 3 penalties so far against Texas Tech here in the first quarter, none against Navy. And this is going to be offsides against Texas Tech, so make it 4.
And you just wonder how this is going to affect this Texas Tech football team. They know, Craig, that they're not going to have all those opportunities, a bunch of possessions in order to score.
On the defense. Penalty before half the receiver ball. Still second down.
Now Navy's come down. They've eaten up some clock, and it looks like they're going to get some points here. You just wonder how this Texas Tech football team is going to respond.
We've seen what they can do when they get inside the red zone, scoring touchdowns critical if they convert.
Absolutely.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. Navy trying to get on the board here. Do they? Ooh, no, sir. Craig Candido stopped at the line of scrimmage, already taking some shots. John Saldi smacks him, and that's what always amazes me in these kinds of offenses, to watch a quarterback take the number of licks that he will play after play after play and get up. Air Force, a quarterback like that, and Chance Harridge.
Yeah, he took an unnecessary lick here. If he just gives it to the fullback, big Kyle Eckel, and he was in the end zone on his knees, said, please, Craig, give it to me. I want the ball. I'm walking in untouched.
All right, third and goal from the 3. Candido with the football, barreling ahead, and close to the end zone. Navy says he got it. Texas Tech said forget about it.
And you know what? We talked to Paul Johnson. This is interesting, Craig, because we talked to him yesterday, and he was talking about the Houston-Hawaii game, and he said that game would have never gone into overtime had I been the coach, because right there I'd have gone for 2. He is right on the goal line. Do you go for it here or not?
You go for it.
That's a good
I think
so.
That ball never crossed the plane. That was a very good call by the officials.
Believe it or not, that is the end of the first quarter. Bizarre, exciting, and intriguing. Navy and Texas Tech when we come back. 4th and less than a 1 to get into the end zone. Houston Bowl, that is the question. The great symbol of Navy. It's about a 16-play drive. 7 minutes and 12 seconds now. 4th and less than 1 for a midi touchdown. Candido keeps the ball. He loses the football. It is scooped up by Texas Tech. Scooped up by Kenyatta Dawson. And how about that? Whoa!
Boy, Eric Roberts, that was a touchdown-saving tackle right there, because, I mean, he was headed to the end zone. He had a caravan of blockers. They were behind him.
Yeah, and Candido is down. He is down. That ball ought to be right there at the goal line. That's a terrible call by these officials.
I absolutely agree with you, and it looked like the ball even touched the goal line here as he's trying to extend it out. It's still in. He still got it.
He's down, and the ground can't cause a fumble.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
That's a terrible call, and I also believe that right when they got to the line of scrimmage here, Andre, had he snapped the ball right now, first down, snuck it right in there before the linebacker came up.
Exactly. Don't let everybody get set, come up, you know what you're going to do with it. Run the play right away.
Well, you know what happens when before the ball game you talk about offenses. It's the defenses that step up, and that's what we have seen so far. 32 yards combined on that scoop up. And also we have seen a lot of plays from both of these clubs here as we begin the second quarter.
They're probably right.
So here goes 1st and 10 for B.J. Symons. Second possession for Texas Tech. Plenty of time going long. And it is caught at the 11-yard line by Carlos Francis. working the double team. A 50-yard gain for Texas Tech.
Man, that's Shalimar Brazier, their best cover corner. And, you know, you had to know sooner or later, Craig, that B.J. Symons was going to take a shot.
And you knew that Mike Leach, coming off of a huge play at the goal line, was going to go right now for it. But the time that he had in the pocket to throw this football, there's no way Navy can defend this long.
No, the big offensive lineman for Texas Tech, they're protecting their quarterback just unbelievably here early in this game. And they just cannot get to B.J. Symons.
From the shotgun, 1st and 10 in Navy territory. Symons rifling the ball in. It's caught. Down at the 12 is Mickey Peters, a senior from Weatherford, Texas, and he is wrapped up by Lane Jackson, the left inside linebacker.
Andre, I've been saying for a long time, and Jeff, that we should have instant replay in college football. When it's available, use it. And right here, in this game right here, it means something to Navy. This game isn't just a bowl game to these two teams. They're out here to win, and in a situation like there, you can have the official correct it.
I agree with you.
But I agree totally with you. It's got to be cost prohibitive.
Only a game, if it's a worthy game, it's going to be on television, whether it's ESPN Plus, ESPN, Fox, somebody's going to have it on TV.
2nd and 1. Symons running for his life. Now into the back of the end zone and over the head of Mickey Peters. But Navy had pretty good pass coverage there in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, you make a pretty good point. I think that's a classic case of when you need it. Ball games like this, especially during the bowl season. Why not? Every bowl game's on. You may as well use it.
Look, but I don't think that replay has been a cure-all in the NFL anyway. I mean, I think it has been, at best, a mixed bag in a lot of games that I've seen over the years.
It's really designed for the obvious. And to me, that was an obvious blown call there because the ball hit the ground and the ground can't cause a fumble.
3rd and 1 from the 7-yard line. Here's Symons. And it is picked off! Intercepted by guess who? Josh Smith. December 3rd, he had his appendix removed. And a few weeks later, he removes the pass from the Texas Tech offense.
All right, Jeff, there's your instant replay right there.
Josh Smith, the interception, and snuffs out the Texas Tech drive.
What a game.
Well, in Texas Tech scoreless, it does not tell you the story of what we have seen so far. I'm Jeff Hullinger with Andre Ware and Craig James. What are we covering? Arena football league here?
It's not that offensive outburst that we thought. We thought there'd be a lot of points scored in this game.
That's right. Both defenses have responded in this one, playing fantastic football.
Up and down. Both of these clubs have gone with no points to show for it. First down for Navy after the interception. Candido almost intercepted into triple coverage. Chad Johnson should have had the football, but it's incomplete. The ESPN game track. Navy's first bowl since the Aloha in 1996. The promise of offense, and there has been a lot of yardage, but no points. Too good, missing the field goal, the short one. Then Navy on 4th and less than 1. Losing the football is Craig Candido, and it is scooped up, and that's where we are right now. 2nd and 10. To the big fullback, it is Kyle Eckel, and Eckel gets 1 out of that. Kind of a cult figure at Annapolis. The student body chants his name against Army a few weeks ago. 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's from Philadelphia, and it has been said that he has seen the movie Rocky 25 times, at least this year.
And the thing that he has done since last year, I had him a couple of different games. Last year, he was just a bull straight ahead. But we now have seen the guy develop into a runner where he's using his eyes and being more patient.
Don't see a lot of fullbacks in college football who play this kind of role. Here is Candido, and it is an end-over-end pass. Incomplete. Amir Jenkins was over there, but I think maybe that kind of slipped out of his hand.
It wasn't an Andre Ware pass.
I was waiting for that. I was wondering. You know, I've seen nothing but humility all season long. Finally. It had to come in Houston. I knew it.
Man.
I knew it.
I'm kind of shocked at Texas Tech being able to figure out this Navy offense so bad. They don't face anything like this Navy offense throughout the year in the Big 12 or any of their non-conference games. So
a little punting shift that you don't see much of in college football. Paul Johnson is furious. We'll take a break here. Scoreless, Navy and Texas Tech.
Exclusive presentation of the 2003 EV1.net Houston Bowl. Brought to you by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make. Space City, a space of infinite possibilities. And Red Lobster. Come enjoy all the succulent shrimp you crave during Endless Shrimp.
On 4th down, a fake. Navy trying to get the first down. And Andy Mickelwitz comes up just a little bit short. He got 8 yards, and they wanted to do that from the outset. They wanted to do that fake the first time they lined up for the football, and then Paul Johnson comes back and decides to stay the course.
That's amazing. You know what? Because he did. Going to break, we saw Coach Johnson jump on him and said, why didn't you run the deal? And here they come out. This is pretty gutsy.
Looked like he wanted to throw the football there. Everybody was covered up. So then he decided to pull it down and run it. Almost got the first down.
Pretty good job running the football. Really?
That's right.
So a timeout here. And Navy and Texas Tech scoreless. What a wild football game this has been. When we come back, it's B.J. Symons' turn with the offense. Of course, you think of one man, and what a man this guy was for Navy. Number 12, Roger Staubach, member of the Hall of Fame in college, in pro football, and he is here today with us. When you think of Annapolis, I think of Bull Halsey, Alan Shepard, and you.
No, I'm not in those categories. On the football field, I was in that category, but those were my heroes were our military people that did the things that are protecting our kids, our grandkids, but I love Navy football, and I love the Naval Academy.
How big is the turnaround here from 2 years ago, not winning a football game last year, just to being into a ball game?
Well, you know, it's exciting because obviously the Academy brings a lot of opportunities for kids to do what they have to do and after they graduate. But on the field, it's nice to see a competitive football team. Paul Johnson's done a great job, and these are kids that are giving 120% the whole time, and it's just fun to see them have success also.
Hey, don't you like seeing all these fourth and go for it?
Oh, geez, Craig, I was throwing the football out in the parking lot today, and I'm so nervous for this game. This is a big deal, and the whole year has been an exciting year for Navy, and I got my ankles taped. And
I shined my shoes this morning.
My wife, I think, I'm going to check her ribs, because when we on the goal line on that 4th and 1, we almost scored. I got a little excited about that.
You may not have had a monitor, but the kid was down. The ball, they should have had the football right there.
I didn't bad call.
Bad call.
Yeah.
Well, another first down for Texas Tech. Nehemiah Glover making the reception in what has been a wild and woolly first half. Roger Staubach. 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders. And here is the pitch. Trying to find some running room. Up to the 29-yard line is Henderson. Surprised that you've seen all of this offensive yardage, but no points yet.
Well, that's the the key is we've got an offense that can move the football and a defense that we haven't given up a lot of big passing plays this year, and so it's kind of a bend but don't break. And old BJ, I don't know if I would have loved to throw the ball 65 times a game, but he's a heck of a quarterback, and yeah, that's what Andre did. Yes. In fact, I had the privilege to speak at the Heisman Trophy banquet when Andre won the Heisman Trophy, so it's fun being up here. And if we win this game, I'll buy you guys a
big old barbecue dinner.
Yes, that's right. There you go. The screen pass into the end zone. Touchdown for Tarn Henderson. It's a 29-yard screen pass, and that is one of the favorite plays in the playbook of Mike Leach.
Yeah. Well,
you knew they'd get there. Texas Tech's going to score their points. Now, what we have to go back to, Navy just got to score when they get out there.
We're going to keep fighting and hanging in there. The second half, we're going to be in the game in the second half, and unfortunately, these kind of plays are vintage Texas Tech. They know how to screen, they know how to do the deal in the shotgun formation, and of course that was a big play for them.
Looks like they're going to go for 2 here. Forget the PAT. Symons out of the shotgun on the ground, and Henderson is wrapped up. Does that make any sense at all, doing that?
I don't understand that. but I didn't understand that 4th and 1 when they were on the 25-yard line. I thought we stopped them back there, but
there have been 4
they've been doing all year. Mike Leach is a great coach, so he's done a heck of a job at Tech, and I think we're going to see a wide. I just want to be in the game in the 4th quarter. We're going to win in the 4th quarter. If we're in the game.
It wasn't that they went for 2. They actually marked the ball short, so he didn't get into the end zone, which is a good thing. And for if you're a Navy guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now it makes a lot more sense.
It makes a lot more sense.
Symons throwing quickly, and this time touchdown, Texas Tech. Mickey Peters, great timing pass, a 4-yard touchdown strike. And now we'll see the point after attempt, I would assume.
Did you see the way Peters drove? He ran to that back corner. You know what I mean? And he put his arms out at the very end.
Well, BJ's got a good touch. You know, you lay it up there, and
Kind of formation dictated this pass as well. He had a lot of room, had him move down inside, so you just play to the corner, back of the end zone in the corner. Just let him go get it.
Keith too good. Point after attempt. And this one is good. So Texas Tech on the board here in the 2nd quarter, 7-0. Roger Staubach, thanks for stopping by.
well, that little touch right there, I did that to Tony Hill one time to beat the Redskins 35-34.
Yes.
This is still early. We're going to be in this game all the way to the end, and that's what Navy football. They fight to the end. So
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Great seeing you guys.
Good seeing you, Roger.
All right. Thanks a bunch.
Right.
I'll look at Paul Johnson, who has done such a great job at Navy. The turnaround of the football program. He graduated from Appalachian State. 5 plays, 47 yards, 2:01 of time, and Peters the 4-yard touchdown.
You know what, Jeff? I think that, you know, him going for it, Paul going for it on 4th and 10, 5 plays, 40-some yards, or just as well could have been 5 plays, 75 yards. And his mindset is they're going to score points. We just, hey, when we get the ball, we got to do something with it.
Here's too good, and the kick is high, and it is short, taken by Jeremy McGowan. And McGowan with some room, and thrown down at the 31-yard line. A good return. Chad Johnson on the tackle, a return at 25 yards, and a penalty marker right in front of us. Roger Staubach still in great shape. Looks like he could play for the Cowboys, maybe sub for Quincy Carter right now.
I'll tell you a story. Whenever I was playing ball in New England, he and Marianne, his wife, asked us over for dinner. And this was an honor. I mean, I'm a kid, grew up a Cowboy fan, right?
Yeah.
We go over and eat this huge dinner, great food. He wants to go out on the basketball court in his driveway and play hoops right away. And he wanted to whoop. I mean,
Personal foul, late hit on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the return. First down.
Well, he lettered in basketball and baseball at the Naval Academy.
anything he wanted to. He's a great athlete. Hey, let's go back and take a look at Henderson on that little screen pass and see where he stepped out of bounds. We thought it was a touchdown up here, and his foot, I guess they're saying, you know, that maybe he stepped out just about what the...
Yeah, we saw
one of the officials came in and signaled a touchdown as well.
Touchdown, yeah.
So I guess...
We only know what
right
we
here.
read.
Yeah, right in here, right in there.
Close. All right, so you like the idea of replay?
I do.
Even with that play, you can't really tell, can
well,
you?
if you can't really tell, then you can't override it. You can't overturn it.
All right, just asking. 1st and 10 for Navy, down 7-0. Now here's the pitch. Eric Roberts cutting it back and down at the 25-yard line. He gets 9 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 1. Brock Stratton on the stop.
And we'll go back to the touchdown pass by B.J. Symons here. He's just trying to signal to his center, hurry up, let's go, let's go. I see something I like. I want to get to it in a hurry. I got a mismatch outside. Lob it to the corner of the end zone. In result, touchdown.
Look at B.J. Symons. 2nd and 1 for Navy. Now here's the pitch. Tony Lane. First down. First down for Navy at the 36-yard line.
Those are those lanes that the slot backs, you talked about getting the slot backs involved. If you have some success running that fullback inside, you get everybody crashing inside. Those slot backs, Eric Roberts, Tony Lane, they're going to get in the mix.
And pitch relationship by the back coming around. He has to be up a little closer to the line of scrimmage because the timing, those seams are open and then they close. And against the defense from the Big 12, you're going to have a little lane for a while, then you closing it up.
Those lanes close quick.
Yeah. How important for Navy to answer with some points here?
Big.
First and 10 for the Middies. Pitch again. And again, Eric Roberts. Let's go to Dave Ryan downstairs.
Jeff, many college football players have NFL stars like Roger Staubach as their idols, but not Navy quarterback Craig Candido. His role model is his uncle, Russell Sanborn, who served in the Marine Corps during Operation Desert Storm. Back in '91, Russell Sanborn's plane was shot down. He was taken prisoner by Iraq and held for nearly a month. After repeated interrogations and beatings, he was released. POWs guys aren't required to stay in the military, but Russell went right back in. He's a lieutenant colonel and flew bombing missions over Iraq this past May. He's scheduled to return to that part of the world very soon. You can see on Craig's shoulder the VMA 542 Tiger patch, Russell Sanborn's unit. He honors his uncle every day on the field.
And his uncle says that Craig's a tougher guy than he is, believe it or not. Handoff, Kyle Eckel. He runs into Mike Smith after a gain of 3. And Candido, too, wants to be a pilot.
I don't know if you can get any tougher than that. That is tough.
You know, when you visit with these players from any of the academies, you ask them what their plans are in the future. Right. None of them are sitting there saying, well, I'd like to shot at the NFL. They're talking about their names of degrees that I don't even understand. Like astronomical blah, blah, blah. Yep. Andre, you and I never even thought about it. Didn't even consider it.
Navy 1 for 4 on third down conversions. Here they are. And Eckel blasting ahead. He gets the first down. Byron Johnson on the tackle, gain of 6. So Navy continues on the drive. Tonight, Capital One Bowl Week action continues on ESPN and ESPN2 at 8 Eastern on ESPN. 2 of the top 14 teams in the nation meet. Texas faces Washington State, and they are in search of their 3rd straight 10-win season. And at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2, UCLA and Fresno State in the Silicon Valley Football Classic. All that coming up tonight. First and 10 from the 49-yard line of Navy. Candido, he'll keep the football. He's into Texas Tech territory and sliding at the 43-yard line.
I don't know if that was a pass or what. He pulled it up like he was thinking about turning his shoulders or squaring up to throw it, but he had an offensive lineman out in front of him leading the way that pulled around in front. Here you see Craig Candido getting outside. He's got his fullback, Kyle Eckel, in front of him. Now all of a sudden nobody's open. I'm going to just pull it down and get something positive.
Yeah, that did look like kind of a run-pass option on it. And you also see that the red jerseys getting to the football are not as quick as they were. They can't give up on pursuit.
The numbers on Candido, they average 326 yards per game on the ground. And Brimage gets the give. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, in for Kyle Eckel, giving him a little relief. Going to be just a bit short of the first down, not by much.
Yeah, Brimage a couple of years ago against the Army had a huge day. Kyle Eckel went down with an injury, and he stepped in and had a huge day running the football. So he's capable as well. Give Kyle Eckel a little breather here and there. Come in, they don't miss a beat at fullback.
I don't think we have to worry about him going for it on 3rd or 4th down.
No, it's no doubt.
2-down territory here, fellas.
We are in Houston, Texas here at Reliant, 33 days away from the Super Bowl. And we've had a Super Bowl so far between Navy and Texas Tech. I'm Jeff Fellinger with Andre Ware, Craig James, and Dave Ryan. It has been a wild football game. Both teams marching up and down the field, gambling on 4th down, gambling on special teams, turnovers, and we've only have 1 touchdown to show. 7-0 Red Raiders.
Yeah, we expected some excitement, but I don't know. We've got our full share.
Yeah,
this far into the first half.
And that Red Raider offense you were praising so much.
Been shut down a little bit. Just a little bit.
3rd and inches. Candido gets the first down. He finds 3 yards before he runs into John Saldi. Navy with 24 carries, 24 rushing plays, and 5 passes so far here in the first half.
And there's a read here that's taking place. Let's watch just as he gets here. Now look at Candido. This man's coming, taking the fullback out of the play. That takes him to the next level. Pull the football and go.
Yeah, and then right there, after everybody collapses down on the fullback, it's Candido, and a hole that you and I could run through, Craig.
I don't know about that. I'm old.
Little. First and 10 for Navy. Ninth play of the drive coming up. The pitch. It is to Tony Lane, and good defense by Texas Tech. Byron Johnson, the senior from Duncanville, Texas, came up from his free safety position to make the stop. It's a gain of 2.
Yeah, and you can best believe this is how Navy wants to play football. 3 yards here, 3 yards there. They get it down to 4th and 1. You can best believe they cross the 50-yard line. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, and that play there, Lane was running cautious, timid, and because that was there. There was a lane
If
for
he
Lane.
hits it, it was a lane for Lane. That's right. If he hits it, he's got a block. You know, he gets a little bit more.
Navy joined this year's Minnesota team as the only 2 teams in NCAA history with 4 1,000-yard career rushers on one team. Candido, plenty of real estate in front of him. And down short of the 25-yard line, Byron Johnson again. And a fine job by Candido making the right run, the right decision with that offense over and over, and that'll move the chains. So first down, Navy trying to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, here you see the linebacker here. He's just going to go inside and charge the inside, trying to occupy the fullback. Inside, it allows Craig Candido to get outside, and then all of a sudden you're into the secondary, and there's big room to run outside.
The injured player is Brock Stratton. Looks like he is okay. We'll take a break. There he is, number 45, 7-0, Texas Tech.
EV1.net Houston Bowl. Brought to you by EV1.net. Full access dial-up internet service for just $10 a month. EV1.net. City Identity Theft Solutions. Free help getting your life back. That's using your card wisely. And Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
For Navy, this drive started on their own 16. They are 10 plays into the drive. They've gone 58 yards and held the football 5 minutes. Down 7-0 to Texas Tech here on a perfect day in Houston, Texas. First and 10 from the 26-yard line. Roberts in motion. Candido wants to throw. Firing. And incomplete. Amir Jenkins was streaking toward the end zone, but some pretty good defense coming in the way of number 36 for Texas Tech as he comes up to make the hit. That is Antonio Huffman.
Yeah, Amir Jenkins down the sideline, a little inside out, a little switch route we call it. But Candido's late with this football, and he has to turn and play defensive back and knock that football out of there. Otherwise, it may be 6 points or running after him, going the other way.
It's still effective because it's showing them something else.
Big goose egg. Passing yards, nothing right now for Navy. And banging his way toward the 20-yard line is Kyle Eckel, a helmet to helmet. He gets 6 yards. Yeah. He is a bull.
Yeah, Craig, you make a good point. Sometimes you just have to show that you're willing to take a shot in the passing game, so you keep guys from creeping up. The strong safeties, free safeties, they come up around the line of scrimmage, help on the option.
Listen to this hit here. Oh, wow. Runs into Byron Johnson. Wow. Johnson with 5 tackles in the football game so far. 3rd and 4. And nothing. Texas Tech standing up the defense. Fred Brait and Mike Smith both converged to make the stop.
And here, where Paul Johnson's been very aggressive, I'm of the mindset you need points. So if you have confidence in your kicker, I'd kick it because you got to get something on the board.
I agree. And then you want to reward your offensive unit for going from your own 16-yard line down the field. You want something positive at the end of this drive. Like you said, if you have any confidence in your kicker, you line up and kick this field goal.
The field goal kicker is out of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. He's Eric Rolfs. 8 of 9 on the season. His longest a 45-yarder, and this is from 37 yards out. Now there is the kick. It is no good. It is wide. So Navy another long drive, and they have nothing to show for it. Mike Leach and Texas Tech survive. In an occupation populated by off-season golfers. The points per game took Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, Hal Mumme at Iowa Wesleyan in Kentucky, and the head coach at Valdosta State. On first down, Symons, and it is incomplete, about 10 yards over the head of Wes Welker. They'll bring up 2nd and 10.
But you notice every time Mike Leach has something positive happen for his defense or his team, he comes right back out. Here we go.
That's right. He doesn't waste the momentum or the emotional lift. He comes back and he tries to capitalize and build on it.
And Navy had rushed 3, dropped 8. Somebody's got to go catch that ball and intercept it in the secondary. You're not going to get many opportunities like that.
You know, Wes Welker's been kind of quiet all throughout this ballgame. I was wondering when they're going to try to get him involved, maybe a screen pass, hand it off underneath, shovel pass, something, just to get him involved in this football game.
Welker's only got 1 reception for 11 yards. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Symons now 14 of 18, 175, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. On the ground, they will keep it. And across the 25 is Henderson, and he gets about 7 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. Brazier on the tackle.
Yesterday when we were talking about Buddy Green, the defensive coordinator at Navy, it was interesting his concept about how his guys have to be ready to drop into coverage because of so many passes, but then when the running game comes, your people are not really going at the ball.
Yeah, you're right, and they get themselves out of position sometimes because they're always thinking pass, 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 and then turn and run to the football. Well, they show some play action, or just hand it off. Then all of a sudden you're out of position.
And you get no penetration in that backfield.
The red line is the line of scrimmage, and the yellow signifies, of course, where they have to get for the first down. 3rd and short. Symons, wide open is his target, Mickey Peters, who caught the touchdown up to the 42, stopped by Eli Sanders, gain of 15, and a first down for Texas Tech.
Okay, you hear this, people say this guy's a product of the system. Now, here's why it's not just a product of the system. B.J. Symons had to make a decision here, and he's patient. He's going to let the tight end get down and hook up. And what happens is this little pocket here, instead of throwing the flat route to the halfback, is there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the tight end is on the same page with the quarterback because he recognizes it, sits down in the zone, then all of a sudden B.J.'s there with the football.
First down, there's Wes Welker. And good second effort. It gets into Navy territory for Wes Welker. 2nd reception of the ball game. Bobby McLaren, the right inside linebacker for Navy from Bethlehem, PA, on the stop.
Boy, this is just an extended handoff right here. This is as good as any run that you can draw up, diagram, try to block, whatever. You get a guy on the perimeter, and they're all inside. You swing him out there, just give him the football. He's uncovered. Give it to him right now. Look at the result.
And not just a guy either.
No, that's right.
It's Wes Welker.
Right. That's right.
Moving the chains, it really is an aerobic activity if you're running the chain gang today. I mean, those guys are up and down the sidelines for both of these teams. So look at Wes Welker. Look at the numbers for him. 11 yards per catch with 9 touchdowns. Wow. 1st and 10 in Navy territory. Symons play action. Swings it out. Wide open is Welker. Running it back toward the middle and down to shy of the 30-yard line. It is a gain of 18. Here's Dave Ryan downstairs.
So Jeff, Wes Welker does get involved. It's hard to believe it. Back in 2000, the Texas Tech coaches had 1 scholarship left. The offer went to Wes Welker. That was a pretty good decision. He's tied the NCAA record for straight games with a catch, 4th nationally among active players in career catches. And you guys have mentioned his career punt yards as well. All-time leader in NCAA history. All these records and years later, guys, he still says he uses the fact he was the last scholarship given as motivational. Always remember, almost not getting a scholarship offer from Texas Tech.
His nickname among teammates, the Natural. And here's Symons. Oh, he is hit. Ball is loose. And Texas Tech recovers. Shalimar Rozier on the blitz, and he nailed B.J. Symons.
And there's cobwebs. B.J. Symons has got cobwebs. Well, if you get exposed like that where you're looking one way and you don't see it coming, wow. I mean, it's going to take a play or two. He may have to call a timeout to clear his head because Shalimar Rozier on a corner blitz comes out right here on the right side of your screen, coming into it, and I mean, just untouched.
Oh, do you listen to this?
That's why I'm up here.
I was going to ask you, is that reminiscent?
That is why I'm up here.
Let me
It's
tell you,
nightmares like that.
That Henderson missed block, I've been there too, where I've missed him and said, watch out, here he goes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
This is where you want to line up in the I formation and just hand it off to somebody.
You aren't kidding.
Loss of 18, 2nd, and a new zip code. Setting up the screen. It's Glover. Glover with some room. Glover inside the 30. And down at the 28-yard line, he gets 20 of those yards back. Eddie Carthen caught up with him. But that's one of the great plays in football to see that executed like that.
Yeah, it is. You just look down the field and right here, get positive yards right, get north and south in a hurry. And Nehemiah Glover, I got a chance to see him in high school. He's from a program, good program right here around the Houston area, Lamarck High School. They just won the state championship in triple overtime in Class 4A, Craig. I'm sure you've heard about Lamarck.
Pretty good. It's a good football team.
Good football team.
High school stuff for you.
I think I have them in my Sonic poll.
You'd be doing better with them.
Here's Symons firing, and it is caught by Nehemiah Glover again inside the 20 down at the 16.
You know what is impressive about this is the fact that these guys, that Symons stayed in there. He didn't have to come out of the game after that hit.
Let's go to Reese Davis in our studio right now. Reese?
All right, Jeff, Trev, and Mark are here. Coming up, we'll talk about what's next with Steve Spurrier.
I believe he will coach again. I'll tell you, hopefully, where and when.
We'll talk about the coaching debut of Bo Pelini and whether he possibly could be the permanent man in Lincoln. We'll also look ahead at the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
On first down, it is incomplete with 12 seconds left in the first half. A lot of pressure coming from Jeremy Chase, and now pressure's coming Symons' way.
Yeah, I talked to Mike Leach this week, and, you asked him, how can you stop this offense? He said, well, they line up one time, and they start the game maybe dropping in coverage a lot. Everybody's dropping off. When they don't have success doing that, then all of a sudden they try to come with pressure, zone blitzes, things of that sort. Now Navy, Craig, they get down here close inside the red zone. They're bringing a lot of pressure on B.J. Symons.
Texas Tech just 1 of 3 in the red zone. With 12 seconds left, trying to set up the screen to Glover. Glover with some room, cutting it back toward the middle. Glover into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Well, that's the way you end the first half. Put a little 17-yard signature on what has at times been very frustrating offensively for B.J. Symons and this prolific Red Raider offense. Keith Toogood with the point after attempt. And it is good. So Texas Tech on top of Navy, 14-0, but it has not been easy for B.J. Symons. He has been getting hit.
Come after him a little bit, at least let him know if they can't get him on the ground, get there with enough time to at least hit him a little bit.
Screen is a mighty good weapon, a good call against an over-aggressive defensive line.
Your attention, is there a dentist in the house? Ryan Bishop kicking off, and it is taken by Brian Hampton. And Navy gets the football with 4 seconds left here in the first half. All right, thoughts about Navy getting ready for the second half? Some of the things that they're going to have to do?
Well, just stay after it. Paul Johnson's got to continue to be aggressive. When he's got 4th and short, he's going to go for it. And they've shown now that they've done a pretty darn good job of holding down Tech's scoring offense.
Yeah, and you know what? Just finish drives. You get down there and you have an opportunity to get points. You got to get points on the board against the Texas Tech team.
Time of possession pretty equal. First downs in favor of the Red Raiders. Look at the yardage.
Okay, guys, here we go.
And that will be the end of the first half. It has been fun here in Houston. Look at Paul Johnson. He and Navy trail 14-0 to Texas Tech. Let's join Reese Davis, Trev Alberts, and Mark May in the studio for the college football halftime report.
Not sure that we saw all of the points we expected, though Texas Tech got the late first half touchdown. But one thing we did not see in the first half, guys, punts. No. None of them. Only 14 points, but no punts.
Once more, up to the 37-yard line, he gets 17. Ryan Aycock on the tackle. The ESPN game track, wild and woolly in the first half. Navy stopped on 4th and goal from the 1/2-yard line. Losing the football was Candido. Symons then finding his way with a couple of touchdown throws. And that's where we are heading here into the second half. 14-0 Texas Tech leading Navy. On 1st and 10 for Navy. Candido keeping the football. Not much there as he runs into Patrice McNawaba, who is out of Belgium. And it is a pickup of 1. It'll bring up 2nd and 9. And if it seems a little different in here in terms of viewing at home, and it looks, maybe the light is a little bit different. They have closed the roof here inside Reliant. And why is that? It's a sunny evening.
Wait a minute. I've heard the rumor is that there's some fans cold up top. Now, Andre, you and I grew up in Houston. We're tougher than that.
That's right. You know, you got to figure that it's above 50 degrees. You got to be able to keep the thing open and enjoy the weather.
And here is the pitch, Eric Roberts. And Roberts is hit at about the 43-yard line. He gets 6 out of that. Chad Johnson on the tackle. You know what? Maybe with 33 days before the Super Bowl, you want to show off the retractable roof, you know? If you're on national TV and you got it, you show it.
Well, that's true, but, you know, in the NFL, there's a rule. If it's open and the game starts, it's got to remain open no matter what the weather conditions are. If it starts off and it's closed, it's got to remain closed. So, I don't know what they're... if you have it in college football, you can show it off. Go ahead and do it.
3rd and 4 for Navy. And the most amazing stadium you will ever see here in Houston. Long count. And the pitch, some room again for Eric Roberts. Roberts first down, Navy. He gets 5 yards, runs into Chad Johnson again, and we talked about it at the outset. You can be down 14. You don't want to fall down anymore, but you got to start getting something done offensively on the board.
You know what he's doing here, Andre? You really can see the check at the line of scrimmage. Candido's going up, and I think he's trying to find where he's got the angles for his linemen. See him check across to this side?
Yeah, and the split there allowed for it, too, to widen him out just a little bit and come down on him. And Roberts, Eric Roberts, since the urgency of getting the first down, saw it and just ducked his head and hummed it up in there.
Right, Candido. 0 for 6 in the first half through the air. And here's the pitch. Frank Davis. And Davis getting up very close to another first down for Navy. He gets 9 yards. Byron Johnson with the tackle number 6, the free safety for the Red Raider.
You know, these two offensive styles, they're different, but they want to accomplish the same thing, and that's to get the ball to the skilled players on the edge and allow them to make plays, and they do it in different ways. Texas Tech, they throw it a long way. With Navy, it's just a shorter pitch or a shorter throw, that being a pitch.
2nd and short. And the pitch coming to the near side. Tony Lane. Here's Lane. And falls. The turf monster grabbed him by the ankle and threw him down at the 26. He gets 18 yards.
No, Jeff, that was the Chick-fil-A monster. That cow jumped up and got him.
That's right there, right around the shoestrings of the ankles, just stick it out there. But here they've had some success, Craig, running the fullback up and inside. You see everybody crashing down on the fullback and the quarterback. And look at this block right here, coming down and inside, and that's what frees up Tony Lane and allows him to get some positive yards for this Navy offense. Craig, Navy's on the move.
Yes, they are.
7th play of the drive coming here. And up the middle, bouncing off tacklers. It is Eckel. And Eckel spun down at the 9-yard line. 16 yards, brought down by Brock Stratton.
About to swivel in the hips from Al Eckley. Hey, look at that, giving him the business a little bit.
You almost have to speed it up to see the jiggle in the hips.
That's right. Watch this right here at the point of that little jiggle. Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Timeout, Texas Tech. His name is Eckel, but he looks more like Jerome Bettis here in Houston, pounding his way through Texas Tech.
Red Dot and get extra savings in every department. Save up to $430 on desktop packages and notebook computers. Save up to $75 on digital cameras. And save on mobile and portable DVD players, too. Like this 5.8-inch widescreen portable DVD player, just $169.99 after price break and mail-in rebate. Don't miss the savings at our huge Red Dot sale. Circuit City, we're with you.
The new Sonic Air Elite by Philips. With patented sonic technology, its bristle tips move 3 times faster for a deep cleaning experience unlike any other. For whiter teeth and healthier gums, stop brushing. Start Sonicare.
Want to take off? Enterprise Rent-A-Car has take-off weekend specials from $9.99 a day. That's Friday to Monday, just $9.99 a day. So take off this weekend. Log on to enterprise.com or call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR.
Quick, in the top 5 water polo players in the world. Okay, how about 1? Yeah. I didn't start playing water polo to get famous. And the same goes for being a biology major. I like working in protein chemistry. Quick, in the top 5 protein chemists in the world.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
To be a successful running back, you must have a little bit of jiggle in the hips. This is a little bit of jiggle there by Kyle Eckel.
And you know what it did? It really jazzed up his teammates. And that's the kind of momentum and excitement that you have to give when you're 14-0 down.
And you're right. And guys can feed off that. You know it?
Here they go. First and goal from the 10-yard line for Navy. And on the ground, Candido gives it to Kyle Eckel, and Eckel again blasting his way through. The Texas Tech defense getting him low was Mike Smith. Pickup of 7.
I mean, it was just around the shoestring. Otherwise, Kyle Eckel is going into the end zone. He knows it, a little disgusted right there. Just pick your feet up when you're going through that hole.
Early in the stride now, they had some success on the perimeter, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's some they're working Tech inside, outside. 37 rushes in this game, only 4 passes for Navy's offense.
Second and goal for the Middies. Down 14-0 here in Houston. Candido keeping the football, and a good job by the Texas Tech defense. Keep your eyes on the quarterback, says Adele Duckett, and he did exactly that.
You know, you make a good point. When Texas Tech had the football early in this game, they're mixing the run, mixing the pass, a couple of screen plays. Navy, they just do it in a different way. It's inside, outside, the quarterback, Candido, keeping it to get on the edge, have some success out there, get everybody outflanked, and then come right back with Kyle Eckel.
Eckel has 9 carries in the middle of the field, and Candido 14, and many of those quarterback draws up the middle.
Yep.
10th play of the drive. Third and goal from the 2. Candido wants to throw with time, and incomplete. Man, he had him. Amir Jenkins was in the end zone all by himself, but not a good throw.
No, just tried to put a little bit too much on it. And his receiver there, just a little disgusted. He was wide open, had everybody spread out.
And here's another one.
Here we go.
Fourth down.
Inside here. Right here, just going to fake like he's going to hit it, and he's wide open. All you got to do is just give it to him.
All right, guys, here it is. 4th and goal from the 2.
Maybe something outside.
Candido keeping the football, trying to find the end zone. Is the end? Yes! Touchdown, Navy! Navy on the board here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, let me tell you, Paul Johnson and this Navy football program, they came to Houston to win this football game. I mean, there's no let-up, no conservative, playing conservative in this football game. They came to the EV1.net Houston Bowl to win it.
Eric Rawls for the point-after attempt. He's missed from 37 yards out today. The kick is good. So when you need a touchdown, when you need to get something done in the 3rd quarter, of course, it's Craig Candido on 4th down. He's the leader for Navy. He defines this team on the field. He gets the touchdown.
The cow superheroes are here. See the swatter, the gristle missile, and cold cuts in a new Chick-fil-A calendar. Cost just $5, packed with food coupons. Cow superheroes, united they stand, divided their stake.
Watch senior Casey Clausen and number 7 Tennessee take on ACC Coach of the Year Tommy Bowden and his Clemson Tigers in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, January 2nd on ESPN.
This morning, skipped a bowl of oatmeal and drive into Sonic for breakfast, where we're now serving our big breakfast burrito. Fluffy egg, sausage, and shredded cheddar cheese, wrapped up in a warm flour tortilla and served with a side of salsa. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
In the red zone, the best way to defend against the play is to stop it before it starts. That's why I use new Red Zone deodorant from Old Spice.
Red Zone's new odor defense system helps stop odor before it starts, and the scent lasts longer than the leading brand.
New Red Zone deodorant from Old Spice.
Over 1 million understand its strength.
It can improve your energy, your shape. This is Bowflex Power Rod technology, and it can only be found on genuine Bowflex equipment, like the new Bowflex Extreme. Now you can get the results you want, the exercises you need, all at an affordable price. You've never seen this Bowflex before. Pick up the phone and call the number on your screen now to get a free video or DVD and check out the new Bowflex Extreme. You can have a high-performance body. Just look for real Bowflex Power Rod technology, proven effective at burning fat and building muscle. Now you can own the new Extreme for no money down and only $19 a month. The Bowflex Extreme is not available in stores. You know you're ready. Let Bowflex help you get there. Call now for a free video or DVD today, because your results matter.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2003 EV1.net Houston Bowl. Brought to you by EV1.net. Full access dial-up internet service for just $10 a month. EV1.net. Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. And City Identity Theft Solutions. Free help getting your life back. That's using your card wisely.
Well, that Navy drive began on their own 21, and they sailed 79 yards on 11 plays. It only took about 5 minutes of time, so they answer in a hurry to begin the second half.
Now, you talk about having a drive that was going to build confidence right out of the locker room, and you take it right down on Texas Tech. Get yourself back in this football game.
Candido, his 32nd career touchdown. Jeff Blumenfeld with the kick. And bouncing out is Ryan Aycock. And Aycock with a good return. Let's go to Dave Ryan with the Secretary of the Navy.
Mr. Gordon England, the Secretary of the Navy, is with us. Very good timing for you. Got to see a touchdown on the field level. How much does the success of this year's football team for Navy help overall with the Navy?
Well, this is a terrific game, and our men and women around the world are watching this game. Thanks to ESPN, they can see this in the Middle East and the Far East. It's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning there, but I know they're up watching the game. And they're rooting Navy on the victory today, so it's very important to Navy, very important to our men and women around the nation, around the world. And but on the other hand, it is a game, and our folks around the world are protecting and defending our nation. So have to keep the perspective on this also. But it's a great game, and it looks to me like Navy's going to move on now. This is good.
Sir, is there anything you'd like to say to the servicemen and women overseas who are protecting our nation's freedom tonight?
Well, I just want to say thank you for your for what you're doing for the nation. Our men and women have been doing this for 228 years, and now this generation has stepped forward, and they're all volunteers. I just say God bless them for what they're doing, and have a great, great New Year.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for being there.
The 73rd Secretary of the Navy, Mr. Gordon England.
All right, Dave, on first down, here is Texas Tech. And Torrin Henderson gets 3, tackled by Jeff Vanek. It is a gain of about 3. There was a shared moment of American history between these two schools. 2 of the astronauts who died February 1st aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia were from Texas Tech and Navy. Commander Rick Husband, a Texas Tech grad, pilot William McCool, a Naval Academy grad, were honored before the game by the Secretary of the Navy, who spoke in their memory. 2nd and 7 for Texas Tech, up by a touchdown, 14-7. Trying to answer Navy here in the third quarter. Swinging it out to Henderson, and it gets into Navy territory. Very close to the 46-yard line. Jeremy Chase knocked him down, pickup of 6.
All right, now, when you talk about defending the pass, defending the run, the nose tackle in this particular play on Navy's defense, watch what the nose does. Watch him bail out. You know, they're in here trying to figure out how they're going to stop the pass. That's the worst thing you can be doing against the run, but that's a guessing game.
And you know what? B.J. Symons, with all that experience, a year's worth of experience now, he sees that, goes to the running game, and capitalizes, because they only have 2 guys. The linebackers drop, the nose guard drops, like you said, and now it's just 2 guys, and they're easy to block them with 5.
Navy doesn't have any yards passing in the football game, yet they're only down by a touchdown. Symons, and it's caught by Wes Welker, the big play artist, and he is out of bounds in front of Mike Leach in Texas Tech.
You know, running an offense like this, similar to this one, that's the first thing you do when you walk to the line of scrimmage is see if you have guys outflanked or somebody uncovered. You just raise up. It's a signal. Raise up and give the football to him. It's an extended handoff. We talk about that all the time, but it's as good as trying to raise up and block or diagram play.
Too.
Yeah,
that's a hard throw and a hard
raise it up and give it to him.
The timing of that.
That's right. But they do it, and it is a gimme if you can complete it.
Navy showing blitz. Here they come. Simmons checking off receivers, dumps it across the middle. Nehemiah Glover making the reception. He has 8, and Josh Smith, the free safety, is the man who hit him, and that is his 5th tackle. Smith also an interception. B.J. Symons, his numbers, 23 of 28, 291, 2 touchdowns, and a loss of a molar.
Wow. I mean, he took a shot there, and you know what? He may need a shot. Get everything healed up, and there's some mouth is hurting. You feel it all the way through.
Football players do not need teeth. Neither do hockey players. And here it is on the ground. Bouncing out is Henderson, and then back in. And Henderson down at the 17-yard line. He gets 14 yards against the Navy defense. And Texas Tech is firing back here in the 3rd quarter.
You know, at some point you would think that this Navy defense would create an opportunity or a turnover. They're coming at the wrong angles. They come off the side. Smith, 33, is in the backfield, but they're not finishing the play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're coming off and giving up containment outside. And that's where Texas Tech is taking advantage, getting outside of the Navy's defense.
Texas Tech up 14-0 at half. Here is Simmons. The Henderson, and Henderson hit hard and brought down at the 12-yard line. He gets another 5 yards against the Middies. Eddie Carthen and Dewan Price both converge on the stop.
Well, Simmons is so smart. Again, watch the inside of the line, how they're dropping out. They're trying to take away the crossing pattern, Andre, and so he sees something else and goes to the outside.
Yeah, they're trying to protect inside, so what do? You go out on the edges, and that's where Texas Tech, Mike Leach, B.J. Simmons, they're all on the same page. Go where they're not, and they do it through the air.
Simmons now over 300 yards in the ball game at 3:04 from the shotgun. All day back there, firing a strike. It's complete. Curling back is Carlos Francis, and he's inside the 5. It's a pickup of 9 yards, and this drive is looking awfully good for the Red Raiders from Lubbock.
Yeah, they try to blitz Bobby McCarron from the linebacker position, and they're coming out of there with that nose guard again, protecting the middle of the field. Little zone blitz the linebacker, drop a defensive lineman. But right now, it's like dial a defense because nothing's working for Navy.
26 out of 31. I mean,
that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
To a system on that. That's a good quarterback.
That's a good quarterback playing right there.
If it's dial a defense, it's busy right now. On the ground, the handoff. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Taron Henderson, no problem. So the Red Raiders answer Navy's touchdown. And the lead on its way back to being 2 touchdowns.
And just get no inside-out pursuit by the defense, and a nice job of Texas Tech's offensive line of just getting body position and walling off.
And you're absolutely right. And a lot of guys inside, condensed inside of that formation defensively. Texas Tech, they just go out on the perimeter.
Pete Toogood, the point after attempt. And it is good. So Texas Tech leads 21-7 here in the 3rd, courtesy of Taron Henderson. He's a sophomore from Gatesville, Texas, at 5'9". He plays big.
All right. Watch the English on this one, Chief.
Foul ball and 3rd out.
All right, go ahead. Step up. What you got? Watch the line. Watch the line.
Watch the pro in action.
Pro, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know what that was.
Double.
What are you talking about double?
Am I in a roll or what? That's a double. It's a double. You had to go get it? Double. It's a double. Kiss it.
I don't know what game you guys are playing. Kiss the double. Yeah. You're a moron.
It's my turn.
This doesn't even count.
Oh.
That doesn't count. What are you talking?
Mom, what date did you and Dad get married?
November 23rd.
What year?
1986.
Mom, when's Grandma's birthday?
You'll never get the passcode, Eric.
Passcode protective parental control. Kids hate it, moms love it. Another way Comcast digital cable makes life a little cooler.
How about we find a new family car?
VHIX.com lets you design a car online.
Coupe or a sedan? Coupe? Sedan?
Pick your style.
Take that as a yes?
Pick your features.
Oh, you like that 2.7-liter V6, don't you? Leather interior?
And get the ideal car for your particular situation.
No leather interior.
VHIX.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
Good evening, and thanks for watching the EV1.net Houston Bowl. Everyone's Internet supports many charitable causes in our hometown, and we're proud to now sponsor this exciting bowl game featuring Texas Tech University and the United States Naval Academy. All of us at EV1.net wish you a prosperous and happy new year. And to our brave men and women serving in the Navy and our other armed forces, we wish you a safe and speedy return home. We hope that you and your family enjoy this exciting game.
All right, Mr. Marsh, thank you. You have to feel that this is going to be a bowl game that's going to grow over the years. You talk about this venue, talk about this great city of Houston. It only gets bigger and better, like everything.
Every year. I got a chance to be a part of it the very first year, the first 2 years. Was away from it a little bit last year and then came back this season, but it has grown, and I agree with you. It is going to continue to grow. It's one of the best bowls around.
Absolutely. Two goods kick taken by Jeremy McGowan. McGowan down at the 20-yard line. It is a return of 19 yards. Josh Rangel, a strong safety working on special teams with a tackle. Wow, look at this. Is that balance?
You know, we expected that to be lopsided in Navy's favor, but Texas Tech, little ball control of their own.
And I tell you what, considering the balance and the number of snaps Tech has had, only 21 points, that says Navy's defense really has done a pretty darn good job.
That's right.
1st and 10 for Navy. Texas Tech up 21-7 here in the third. The pitch, far side, Eric Roberts. And Roberts is hit hard after about 7 yards. Vincent Meeks, the free safety from Rockwall, Texas, wearing number 1. Is this offense, by offense I'm talking about Texas Tech now, capable of winning a national championship at some point? Now, there are a lot of folks in the NFL who don't buy into the Mouse Davis theory of the run and shoot or June Jones, that you don't have good defenses when you have this kind of offense.
I'll answer you right when this play comes.
I know where you're going with it.
I'll answer you.
I know where you're going with it. 2nd and 2 for Navy. They do not have a completed pass in the football game. And right up the middle to the 30-yard line. Very close to the first down. John Saldy wraps him up. Tackle number 6.
Let me hear you. I absolutely think you can win a national championship with an offense like this, but it takes all 3 components, offense, defense, and special teams as well. You have to have a defense that's going to get you the football and give you shots, force turnovers, and things of that sort in order to give you more reps at it.
I'm next. All right, Coach.
3rd and inches, losing the ball is Candido. 3 penalty flags are down. I think that's going to be a false start, perhaps, against Navy.
Well, there's a lot of yellow on the floor. The top 4 teams in the country, LSU, Oklahoma, USC, and Michigan, have great defenses.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Okay. And those great defenses show up usually week in and week out. The high-powered, spread-them-out offenses, you know, too, Andre, as high-octane as y'all were, y'all may have never had a down week, excuse me, but usually that offense flounders somewhere along the line.
Well, you know what, and that's why you got to have the defense. Sometimes when you're struggling offensively with any system, you have to ask your defense to show up, and special teams as well.
Navy 3rd and 6, 4 of 9 on 3rd down conversion. Candido coming back the other way. Jenkins with it, and what a great defensive play. He was the only man over there, was Antonio Huffman. If Huffman doesn't make that tackle, it is goodbye.
Yeah, you're still talking about how the receiver's running down the field. Candido here fools everybody. goes back to the other side of the field to Amir Jenkins, and if he's able to come out of that tackle, I mean, there is clear sailing along the right sideline.
Yeah, timing was just off a little bit. Yeah. Josh Gooden is a heck of an offensive lineman, but he got there and he wasted his bullet too quick.
Yep.
John Skaggs with a punt. And it is taken by Wes Welker. And Welker getting into Navy territory at the 49-yard line. A 48-yard punt, a 9-yard return. Things looking good for the Red Raiders. Meanwhile, Paul Johnson, some work ahead of himself. Houston, the EV1.net Houston Bowl. Texas Tech 21, Navy 7. Good crowd here. Total offensive yards, 231 for Navy, 350 for Texas Tech right now. The Red Raiders with a football need to get to the 39-yard line of Navy for the first down. Believe it or not, here we are late in the third. That was the first punt of the football game. The reverse coming to Nehemiah Glover. And a penalty marker at the 49-yard line, near side in front of the Navy bench. He gets 10 yards, runs into Brazier. Now, this is a hold that's going to go against Texas Tech. It's going to be their fourth penalty of the football game.
You know, Craig's going to jump all over me on this one, but I'm reaching a little bit in terms of your question a little while ago. Here you see the reverse right here to Nehemiah Glover.
There's your holding right there.
And there's the holding right there. But you asked me about Leach and can this system win a national championship? Well, he was the first hire of Stoops at Oklahoma. Then the next year, he gets the head coaching job at Texas Tech, and they go on to win a national championship. So the system was in place. They continued to throw it all over the park. If you remember way back when, and I guess it was in 2000, when they won the national championship. So it's already been done.
You're going to have, though, the balance.
He is a defender of the faith. There is no doubt about it. Here is Symons firing, and it is caught. First down, Wes Welker. What a throw. 24-yard first down for the Red Raiders.
You know what? That's not being a product of the system right there. That's being a quarterback, because that is on time and over the linebacker's outstretched hands and into his receiver, his favorite target, Wes Welker. That was a drill shot, and not a lot of guys around the country can make that throw.
Well, it kind of looked like he had a backup receiver from there. I mean, there's two guys in the same area. It's like fishing with two hooks.
See, there's another one of those Texas analogies, that fishing with two hooks.
He just spit on the right lure. It was deep.
See, there we go. There we go. First and 10 from the 37. Symons quickly near side, and it is caught by Mickey Peters. And Peters getting another first down for Texas Tech, running into Josh Smith. And it's a gain of 11. Here's Dave Ryan.
Jeff, in pursuit of that tackle, Navy linebacker Bobby McLaren, who broke his left hand on the second day of summer practice this year, played in extreme pain with a hand wrap in the season opener against VMI, and then broke it again, forcing team doctors to insert a stabilizing plate and 5 screws. It cost him 3 games, and against Air Force October 4th, he was back. His hand, guys, was encased in a boxing glove, a hard plastic shell, and a half-inch layer of foam. And against the Falcons, batted down a key pass with that club. It's a scaled-down version now, but he's still playing a lot of pain.
So this will come as no surprise to know that McLaren wants to be a Navy SEAL. He is a tough guy. Another tough guy is Josh Smith, who bundles up Taron Henderson for no gain.
Greg, you get the feeling Texas Tech trying to step on the gas a little bit in this one?
Yeah, and I believe back when Navy on their last possession offensively, had they not had a long situation at 4th down, they would have gone for it, because Paul Johnson realizes this offense now has got it going, and Navy's defense is bound to tire out.
Yep.
Second and 10 for Texas Tech. 343 yards in the air for B.J. Symons. Plenty of time, and overshoots his target. Not an easy throw to Wes Welker, because Bobby McLaren was not near. It just kind of had to drop it in there. That's a hard pass to make.
And he had to drop it in there, Jeff, because what you saw was that nose dropping again to the middle, like a robber position. Watch the nose guard, middle of the screen, drop out of there. So what he's doing is he's forcing that ball to have to go just a little bit higher than the trajectory should be.
Yep. And that throws you off as a quarterback, because all of a sudden guys come into your vision that you're not expecting to be there, and then you got to use a little touch. That is a tough throw, let me tell you.
Your teammate Steve Grogan was pretty good at that throw.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
Third and 10. Here comes the blitz. Symons with time, and it's incomplete. Man, he had an open Jarrett Hicks at the 10-yard line, but Hicks couldn't make the grab.
They hesitate. They're thinking about going for this. They're not quick to get the field goal unit on the field.
You know, Mike Leach reminds me, and so does Paul Johnson, so much of Steve Spurrier when he was at Florida. Remember Steve on 4th and 10?
Oh, yeah.
He'd go for it all the time.
Anytime.
He had the ultimate confidence in his offense.
Get it right back, get it here. You know, I got a lead. I got a
look at that face, though. It looks like the cow manure pastures right out behind him all the time.
2 touchdown lead, and I'm gonna go for it.
He's been described as Steve Spurrier on steroids. Guy wrote that in the Washington Times. 4th down, they'll go for it. Here comes the blitz. Symons, wide open, is the target. Welker.
That's why.
First down, out of bounds, pickup of 16. How easy it is, Symons to Welker.
I tell you, as a quarterback and as a coach, when you get on the same page and you get some rhythm going, you feel invincible in the passing game. You got guys running all over the field.
Take him out, and he's going to come underneath, but it clears this guy out. The corner goes right back deep, and I mean, this is a nice execution, and this is why Leach had the confidence to call it.
And what I like about Welker is that he runs his route deep enough to where if he catches the football, all he's got to do is turn up the field, and he's got the first down.
How many diminutive receivers have we seen in the run and shoot over the years? A lot of them. And Welker is terrific. Here's the shovel pass. It's loose. Navy has it. Incomplete. Is it?
No, it's an incomplete pass. And that's the beauty of the offense. I mean, it is a forward pass.
But you know what is impressive? Texas Tech just hasn't made a lot of mistakes today.
No.
I don't think they've made any, have they?
Not a whole lot. I mean, you had the interception early in the football game, but aside from that one, there hadn't been a lot of mistakes made by Texas Tech. Penalty yards or anything. It's been a clean football game pretty much for Mike Leach and his ball club.
Here we go, 2nd and goal for the Red Raiders. With 1:04 left here in the 3rd quarter. Up 21-7. Trying to create a little more room with Navy. Right up the middle, Henderson, and he gets 3 yards running into Josh Smith. His 8th tackle of the ball game.
You know what I like about Mike Leach and his approach to the game is that he recognizes when his football team's in a rhythm, it's not a gamble to him on 3rd down and long or 4th down. It's that my quarterback is in a rhythm. My offense is moving the football. I have the momentum. I'm going to stay on top of it.
Did you see the call he made there, Jeff? How he just goes one hand down and check up, and that's the signal in to BJ. And he said they've got such a great communication line that he gives them just pieces of it, and he knows the rest.
Yeah. It's like a third base coach. Take and bunt. 3rd and goal. Symons. Incomplete. Throwing into triple coverage over there. Pierre Moss got his hand on it.
You think they're going to go for it here? On 4th down? I would think so.
Absolutely. There's a certain irony. You see Texas Tech with Bob Knight as a basketball coach predicated on defense, and Leach predicated on offense.
Well, he proves us wrong once again because he sends the field goal unit onto the field.
They're running that nose guard all over the field today. In the flats now, taking away the slants. They got them in the middle of the field.
Nose guard's running more than anybody on the defense.
They will be drinking some water tonight.
Cramped up somewhere.
21-yard attempt by Keith. Too good. He's missed from 22 yards out. Let's see how he fares here. And this is good. Man, I'll tell you what, that was close. Looked close. That was close. Ooh. That didn't look so good. That had that sort of John Carney lilt about it to the right, didn't it? Ooh. That's not a good thing. Anyway, he gets the points, and Tech stretches their lead on Navy. A little good about that after keeping him out of the end zone. Only 3 points.
It's one of those things you call small wins during a football game. You take it down, and it's kind of a relief to only give up 3 points as opposed to a touchdown. A bunch of small wins during a ball game usually result pretty good for you. They've got a lot of things they need to overcome here to get themselves back in this game.
Keith Too Good kicking off. And this is high and a better kick. McGowan takes it a yard deep in his end zone. They'll bring it out. And finally upended at the 19-yard line, and that's where Navy will take over the football with 11 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, down 17 points. And now the clock becomes so very important to Navy do they have enough time to be able to get back into this football game?
Got to have a turnover somewhere along the way. You know, offensively, I think they can, but there has to be a big play made via turnover before they can get really into the game.
Paul Johnson on 1st and 10 for these middies. Candido wants to throw. Hit as he throws the ball. It is incomplete. As Adele Duckett, the sackmeister from the Big 12, the leader in that department. He's from Mineral Wells, Texas, and he puts the big stick on Candido.
And they are open deep down the middle, and I believe that most quarterbacks are tardy on their throw. Guys who aren't used to throwing the football, they're always just a split second behind.
Late. You saw it early in the football game. He was a little late with it, and Lionel Wesley comes wide open. He comes down like we talked about, going to crack block and turns up the field, and if he just gets to the top of the drop and gets the ball out of his hands, he's got a touchdown.
6 seconds left in the quarter. And on the ground, some running room for Ethel, and he is up to the 28.5-yard line, runs into Vincent Meeks. And that is the end of the quarter for Paul Johnson. And Navy down 17. Navy from Annapolis. The Lubbock Air Force from Texas. And it's 24-7. Back for the final 15 minutes right after this.
Big Monday returns this week on ESPN.
There's more to protecting your family this winter than nothing.
The brigade is here, 2,200 of them from Annapolis. And what a sight here at Reliant. Happy holidays, everyone. I'm Jeff Hellinger with Andre Ware and Craig James. We get ready for the fourth quarter, and you know, normally when you see a team as capable of offense like Navy, you are very optimistic when they're down by 17.
Yeah, but they're close. They're close, though. Just like we said 2 or 3 plays ago, all they have to do is raise up Candido, get the ball down deep. So they have the ability to strike quickly via the pass, but they got to make a play defensively or special.
And I think on defense, they got to start gambling a little bit. Maybe it's a man mixed in there, but they got to get to the quarterback and try to force some turnovers.
And here, on 3rd and 1, Eckel looks like he has enough for the first down. You know, the one stat in this game that really jumps out at you after 3 quarters, Navy with -5 in passing yards. Meanwhile, Tech has 363 yards. So if you're looking at one statistic that might tell you why it's 24-7, that would be it.
Man, what a way to start this game, though, with both teams going for it on 4th down in the 20-something yard. I mean, this has been a game where they went for it.
On 1st down, here is the pitch coming to the near side. Trying to turn the corner is Eric Roberts. And he is run out of bounds in front of the Navy bench by Ryan Aycock. He gets 6 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 4. That first quarter was like a basketball game. Constant fast break and a game in transition.
One of the fastest first quarters I've ever been a part of. I look up, and it was, you know, Texas Tech had it half the first quarter. Navy comes down, and then all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah, don't you? You know, you just have to admire a player. Whitley over there. He's going to work off a little of that turkey dressing that he had over. You know, just getting all he can.
Home cooking, huh?
Yeah.
That's right.
On 2nd down, and it is Eckel getting very close to the first down. Vincent Meeks coming up to make the stop.
And this is where Navy would have liked to have had themselves in this 3rd down and short. Once you get them back there over 8 yards or so, and asking them to convert first downs or get first down, that's where they're unfamiliar. They don't like being in that position where it's 3rd down and long and trying to convert to get first down.
And I think Coach Johnson's mentality and game plan was, and probably even told his ball club coming in, if it's 3rd or 4th and 1, 4th and 2 or 3, we're just going to go for it.
Josh Gooden is the injured player for Navy, the right guard from Shawnee, Kansas. He's a senior. Let's go to Dave Ryan downstairs.
Well, Jeff, just before Christmas, Texas Tech student managers twins Chuck and Tim Smith, they're from near Dallas, Texas, had everything they owned packed up, heading home for the holidays. They had moved out of the dorm for the Christmas break. The night before their departure and the last Tech practice before Christmas, someone broke into their car and took everything, including their computers, all their clothes. They told me before the game about $7,000 worth of merchandise, all gone. Their Christmas presents also were gone. They were left with nothing. That is until the word got out about a few hours later. Players had pitched in to donate $450. Administrators and coaches stepped up with more. That includes assistant coach Ruffin McNeil, who donated all of his Tech coaching gear, sweatshirts and sweatpants. They happen to fit the twins perfectly.
Excellent. And that's going to be a motion penalty that will go against Navy.
Who would break in a guy's car around Christmas?
Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of guys. And thank goodness for people like the coach there. You know, Texas Tech, that speaks volumes about the integrity of their staff and their team, the unity.
Look at Ruffin McNeil.
Dead ball, disconcerting signals on the defense.
What?
That's a 5-yard penalty.
Have you heard that? That's the defense trying to call the snap count or mimic the snap count to get the offensive line to
disconcerting signals?
Huh? That's the old ventriloquist call.
That's right. Center with the ball.
Oh, he's calling the snap.
Oh, yeah. Disconcerting signals. I just messing with the ball club.
6 penalties against Texas Tech for 50 yards.
Wouldn't that be a good signal, though? The referee just said, defense messing with the offense.
That's right. Candido scrambling, looking for room. Not much there, up to the 45-yard line. That's no gain. Dawson knocked him down. He got a fumble recovery earlier in the ball game. Well, if you're just joining us, here's the ESPN game track. Tech really finding some rhythm offensively, not only in the air, but on the ground, getting 6. And Navy hasn't done anything through the air. One of the game stories, Candido, -5 in passing yards. He is 1 for 7.
Candido looking at Duckett saying, man, no wonder you're leading the Big 12 in this right. Zach. You're quick.
On second down, up the middle, Kyle Eckel. He runs into Brock Stratton, the freshman from San Antonio, Texas. He gets 2 yards. As you look at that Texas Tech defense, you really see a lot of freshmen. You see a lot of young players here. I mean,
both these squads, really. They're both really young with an opportunity to kind of build a program with a lot of young players and be heard from next year and beyond.
And Texas Tech this season really had Texas and Oklahoma State really close to beating both of those teams.
You know, Navy had Notre Dame on the ropes to the final play.
Last 2 years.
3rd and 8. Flea flicker. With time, into double coverage, it's incomplete. Tony Lane from Rennes, Georgia, was trying to hit Lionel Wesley, and he's from Duncanville, Texas, the wide receiver.
Now, we talked about Navy having maybe to take some gambles on defense, but they're starting to do it a little bit on offense, too.
Yeah, and you know what? On 3rd down, you know, you see something like this that goes on. I'm not surprised. And Texas Tech's a well-coached defensive team. They've gotten a lot better as the season's gone along. So I'm sure they're expecting a little bit of this and that.
Yeah, especially when Navy gets down and they're not the ordinary drop-back pass team to get themselves back in a ball game. They got to rely on some trick plays, and they're just not working.
Going into this game, Navy was 15 of 28 on 4th down. And they got to have this. They want to put this rally on. 4th and 8. Candido with plenty of time, firing downfield, and it is caught at the 15 by Amir Jenkins. 1st down, Navy. 33 yards.
Craig Candido threw this with all he had. I mean, legs, arm, back. Wait a minute.
Where did that come from? Because a while ago, he could throw an 8-yard pass for a touchdown.
That's right. Where did it come from?
Top receiver up here. And, you know, plenty of time for him to throw the football. He moved his feet properly in the pocket, and then Jenkins fighting and positioning his body for the football.
That's right. I mean, he just went up and fought for it and came down with it.
1st and 10 for Navy, down 17 points. Candido keeping the football, finding room inside the 5 to the 4. Brock Stratton knocked him down. He gets 10 and loses his helmet.
Yeah, no quitting these Navy guys.
Hey, these guys,
they're going to fight till the end.
Let me tell you something. We watched them come into this stadium, and they get off the bus. They didn't wear sweatsuits. They had their hats on, their jackets on. That's right. They came here for business.
Serious fitness.
Serious.
And they are playing. Like the Secretary of the Navy said, this group out here on the football field is being watched around the world by their friends. Right. And man, hats off to them.
Candido, also a terrific baseball player. He hit .370 last season with 14 home runs. Trying to hit a home run here in Houston. Staubach, the incomparable Roger Staubach, watching Craig Candido with a Staubach-like performance here in the 4th quarter.
Gutsy performance by this young man.
First and goal from the 4 for Craig Candido from Orange City, Florida. On the ground to the fullback, Eckel, twisting and turning his way, trying to find the end zone. He gets 2. Still on his feet. Great second and third effort. Let's see where they mark the ball. Chris Hudler is the first red shirt to get in on the hit for Texas Tech.
He lost his shoe.
Yeah, it show you how Navy, the offense got down here. Craig Candido hit him for a big play. Down here, the wheel route just inside. And Ryan Aycock, their best pass defender. Down here, he's got good coverage. But you talk about wanting to win and compete. I'm going to go up and fight you for the football. And this gets Navy down here inside of Tech 5-yard line.
12 play of the drive. Second and goal from the 1. Option. Candido keeping the ball. Pulling in for 6. Touchdown, Navy. Second of the day for Craig Candido. Is it enough? That's the question. Roger Staubach would tell us it is. That there is a great chance for them to come back with 11:06 left in the ball game. What a flag. Let's wait and see. Late flag. And the officials from the Pac-10 with a parley. Now Candido moving in.
Just a little extracurricular activity, a little extra pushing going on after the ball play.
Little O.A. Bum Phillips talk.
Well, the first time I met Bum Phillips years ago, he said, I think he said my name, Greg, and half I came out was half chewed up tobacco and paper cups, and
he had that old famous saying that, you know, if you can't get fired up for this one, your wood must be wet.
Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff, 15 yards.
I hate when the wood gets wet.
Oh, man, that's good.
All right, Eric Ross for the point after attempt. You like this shifting here on the point after attempt?
Well, you know, it lulls you to sleep, I guess, in that 1 out of 10 or 20 tries, and
it's like Australian rules football. Ross with the point after attempt, and it is good. So Navy down 10 points with 11 minutes left in the ball game. Is it enough? Craig Candido says, just you watch. The Navy bench stirred, invigorated by 6. Bring it on.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2003 EV1.net Houston Bowl. Brought to you by EV1.net. Full access dial-up internet service for just $10 a month. EV1.net. Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And Viagra. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
The Naval Academy has produced 51 astronauts, 29 members of Congress, 6 ambassadors, 4 state governors, a president, and 1 Craig Candido.
And can they produce an onside kick that they recover right here?
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
I'm with you on that page.
You like that idea?
I like it.
Why not? I mean, Tech more than likely is going to score, whether it's from 70 or 50.
Yeah. Well, Paul Johnson has shown his desire to gamble. There's no doubt about that.
They stayed huddled a long time, and you know what? They're going to get some penalty yardage here, so why not try it?
Yeah, I definitely. Well, the hands team is out there for Tech.
They're thinking like you are.
Yeah. Oh, my.
How big would this be with 11 minutes left? And Navy recovers an onside kick. Got an opportunity to go down and get this thing in a pretty good position.
How about the best onside kicker you've ever seen? Morton Anderson, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, they're all squirrely, so it's hard to say. I didn't give credit to anyone.
Punk kickers, right?
Jeff Blumenfeld. And this is high. It's short, like a 9-iron, very high, and taken at the 9-yard line by Johnny Mack. You can spend New Year's Eve with ESPN. ESPN2 and college football as Capital One Bowl Week continues first. The Wisconsin Badgers are going to meet Auburn in the Gaylord Hotel's Music City Bowl at noon Eastern. Then, at 3:30 Eastern, the Mountain West champion, number 25 Utah, meets the Conference USA champs Southern Miss, the Golden Eagles, in the AXA Liberty Bowl. The coverage begins with College Game Day built by the Home Depot at 11 a.m. Eastern. Sonic Bowl Mania Challenge.
Jeff, you're doing pretty
Jeff's
good.
I'm fighting it out.
I picked Michigan State last night, so I'm suffering a little bit.
Wow. What led you to that pick?
Confusion among Nebraska about who's going to be the head coach. Wasn't sure what their motivation would be.
I felt like better players, played in a tough conference, playing for Bo Pelini. What I hear, they really like him, and they'd like for him to be their head coach.
You don't think Steve Spurrier goes to Nebraska, do you?
Not enough golf. There's not enough golf in Nebraska to get Steve Spurrier to go there.
And you know what? Even this here, Jeff, the fact that wherever Spurrier goes in college, I think he's going to want to take his system, but that system is going to have players, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know how he's going to recruit kids out of Texas and Florida to go over and play up in Lincoln. You know, I think he fits more along the Florida line, somewhere in there.
And you know what? It'll be a makeover because you got to take what Nebraska has already and play with those guys for a couple of years.
Especially the offensive linemen there. It'll take a long time to kind of regenerate all that stuff.
That's right.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line for Texas Tech. Leading Navy by 10 points here in the fourth quarter. Symons, all kinds of time, firing a strike. Down at the 23-yard line is Nehemiah Glover, and he gets 12. First down, here's Dave Ryan.
Jeff, you touched on it briefly earlier. How much did Navy defensive back Josh Smith want to play in that Army game? Pretty badly. In a team meeting the Wednesday before playing their arch rival, Smith double over in pain. Trainers got him to a hospital where he was diagnosed with an appendicitis. He needed his appendix removed right away. Josh wanted another opinion. It was the same. He demanded a third opinion. The doctor agreed with the others. Josh needed the procedure done right away and told him no more opinions. Smith didn't want to give up hope, though, guys. He had to watch the game on TV from Annapolis. Couldn't be there in person. By the way, good leadership from Josh Smith a moment ago. Gather the defenders around and try to bring them up for this big drive.
All right, Dave. Symons dumping it off to Henderson. Henderson, all kinds of room. And Henderson brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. Another first down this time. A gain of 17. And a late penalty marker at the 40.
Okay, now watch the nose this time. What happens? They trade positions, okay? Middle linebacker comes up. But what happens here, Andre, is you put a nose guard in the middle of the field, and he's not athletic enough to deal with this.
Usually when you zone blitz, you do it from the outside, and it's a defensive end dropping into coverage, and you blitz the linebacker. The nose guard, I don't think it's going to have any effect because it's right there in the middle of everything. The center of the guards see it happening.
Play. Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Steal first down.
There's really no effect of dropping a nose guard into coverage, especially Texas Tech's working the outside away from them. They're not even throwing passes over the middle.
And, you know, Buddy Green, defensive coordinator, has done a heck of a job.
Yeah, he has.
Keeping Tech out of the end zone and, you know, maybe change it up a little bit and stop using the nose. Go somebody else. Go traditional zone blitz.
There's a look at Buddy. He coached Terrell Owens at UT Chattanooga and said he's talking about moving him to the defensive side of the football. Why can I not imagine that?
Terrell Owens could probably play in the same
anywhere he wants. Anywhere.
On first down, here's Symons. Out of the pocket, on the move, giving instructions. Charging ahead to the 33-yard line. He gets 9 out of that. Jeremy Chase, as the name implies, did exactly that.
You know what, Craig? You make a good point with the nose guard dropping and all that. If you're going to do it, go ahead and rush some extra people with it. The linebackers on the outside brings more. You got to bring more than 3 people. These Texas Tech offensive linemen, they can protect against you. I don't care where the blitz is coming from. If it's the linebacker, nose guard drops off. If there's only 3 guys rushing the passer, B.J. Symons is going to sit back there and pick you apart.
And Mike Leach told us in our meeting with him, he said, hey, I've seen a nose guard before drop 15, 20 yards.
And he's getting it again. It's like that shift for Ted Williams. 2nd and inches. From the shotgun. Setting up the screen. They are terrific at this play. Look out. And up to the 47-yard line is Henderson. Another 13 yards. We're inside at 10 minutes. And to move those chains, and that clock will keep moving too.
They wait and wait. B.J. Symons here looking down the field, waiting for him to clear. Offensive linemen let their guys go. And there's Henderson. And the thing I like about him, when he catches the screen, north and south in a hurry. Don't mess around. Let's get some positive yards. Get out of here.
That 7-8-yard drop area that these linebackers and safeties are in is just, they're too far back or they're not athletic enough at open space.
From the shotgun, pressure coming, and it is complete far side. Spun out of bounds is Carlos Francis by Bergier, and he gets 4 yards out of that. Both of these coaches really bristle when you talk about they have a system. Right. Neither coach likes it. They get kind of fired up about it, and I think about Steve Spurrier, who used to do the same thing. He would be a defender of the system. I wonder if he comes back to college football, if perhaps he will not be quite as bothered by the criticism of the system.
Well, you know, everybody's got a system, and they'd like to like to have the success that these two programs are having or have had this season. So if you don't, you criticize.
2nd and 6. Quickly near side, complete into Navy territory. This is Wes Welker. Welker running room and knocked out of bounds late. There's a penalty marker. That'll be a late hit. Bobby McLaren, 24 yards for Welker. And Symons over 400 yards in the air right now. The beat goes on. He is now 34 of 43 for 432 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pass interception.
You know, another thing with that system thing you talk about, how many guys, Craig, do you think will go out to Lubbock when the season's over?
First over foul on the defense. Penalties enforced half the distance to the goal. First down.
Coaches around the country and try to pick Mike Leach's brain for what he does offensively. You know, they try to steal ideas, or they'll watch them on film, try to implement what they're doing because it's the hot thing to do around the country.
And what they're doing right there. Go ahead.
Picking his brain is a scary thing.
You know, kid, you're going through a lot of books. That's right. He's been through a lot of universities, a lot of degrees, and I wouldn't try to pick. But, you know, that line I drew there is showing you the cushion, the amount of respect. And what you're talking about, Andre, is they're getting the ball quick to him. I mean, that's not a system. That's a smart quarterback. That's right.
Symons looking left and right here, and now stepping back. Jumping off sides here. Any penalty markers? Nope. Symons firing into the end zone. Touchdown. Wow, what a throw. Jared Hicks from Houston, Texas. A 13-yard touchdown for Texas Tech.
Let me tell you something. A system can't throw that pass. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about this guy being a system guy all you want to, but somebody's got to line up back there, and that is just pure athletic ability, reading the defense and shooting it out of your arm.
Here's a pure bad call by the officials, a no call. Watch the right guard. Yep. That's a false start there. He's moved. You know what?
Yep, you're right.
And that's that cost him a touchdown.
Oh, what a throw and a catch.
Got to be a thrill for Jared Hicks from Houston, catching it here at Reliant. The injured Navy player is Vaughn Kelly from Coconut Creek, Florida, the right cornerback.
Boy, he sets him up on the post route, a little quick post, shows him the outside and comes underneath, and boy, that ball is to him right out of the break.
Pretty good collision here in the secondary. It's just a bang happens quick. Oh man!
Oh, he caught a leg whip too.
Wow.
Symons an NFL prospect?
I think so. Yeah, I really do.
Arm strength like that and the ability to read defenses and get the ball out. Absolutely.
How about the difference between he and Kingsbury?
Arm strength is probably the difference.
That would probably be the deal, is the arm strength. But, you know, the fact that both those quarterbacks have had an opportunity in college to read a lot of secondaries and coverages and all and throw the football, it's like being a hitter in baseball. If you have success, you're more than likely going to be confident in the play.
Bad snap, and good job by the holder. It is good. Penalty markers. Here we go. Lord Cole,
roughing the kicker there.
You know what, though? You look at that, and where did Tech start after that? The kickoff from midfield, and they started around the 10, 12-yard line, right?
Yep. Right.
And I mean, it's 90 yards.
Foul, roughing the kicker on the defense. 15-yard penalties enforced on the kickoff.
That's why I would have probably onside kick. You know, what the heck? They're going to score from 90 or 50.
B.J. Symons finding Jared Hicks. 7 different receivers. 445 yards for Symons in the Houston Bowl. Ouch.
The dangerous Hawkeye D battles Florida's high-powered offense, led by Chris Leach. The Outback Bowl, Iowa, Florida, Thursday.
Hicks, who caught the touchdown pass from B.J. Symons. Symons now over 445 yards passing. He's got to be your MVP of this Houston Bowl so far, huh?
Well, I think I'd have to vote for him to be the guy. And you know what? We talked about the fourth-ranked pass defense that Navy had, but the numbers were misleading there. And B.J. Symons has shown America again why he's really a very talented quarterback.
Yeah, really Navy defensively hadn't seen anything like this Texas Tech offense. And, you know, let's face it, they were just waiting to explode. We talked about it coming out of halftime, how they were ready to kind of step on the gas in this game.
And some missed opportunities also for Navy today. I mean, you start thinking about some of those plays that might have been, should have been, that weren't, and would it have altered how this game has gone?
Yeah, and, you know, Paul Johnson alluded to that when he talked to Dave after halftime and said, look, we had some opportunities we missed on. The 4th and inches from the goal line, the field goal. I mean, there's just some chances they had that would have kept them in the game so that in the fourth quarter they'd had a shot at it.
Texas Tech. You talk about offensive explosion. 505 total yards, Navy 307. Difference of almost 200 yards of total offense. That's a lot of offense.
I can do the math.
That's a lot of offense, man.
Jeff, do you need help with the math?
No. Well, maybe. I'm a liberal arts major.
Too good. And me too.
Kicking off, well, that's trouble. Nothing to admit in public, I might add. And back of the end zone, out to the 20. How about quarterbacks in this bowl season? When you're talking about great individual performances, of course you're talking Timmy Chang of Hawaii and June Jones run and shoot. Phillip Rivers closes out such a great career at NC State. And now B.J. Symons closing in, could be the leader in the clubhouse with some more yards.
Yeah, you know what? Another name on there, Ben Roethlisberger at Miami of Ohio. What a player. What a player. I'm thoroughly impressed with that kid.
51,068 here on hand at Reliance in Houston. Candido loses the football. Looked like Navy jumped on it. They retain possession. John Saldi and Adele Duckett. Duckett has been in the face of Craig Candido most of his football game.
Last night in the hotel, we're in the Tech Hotel, and we had the Peters family saying, hey, you got to say good things about my son, and had all kinds of people talking about, you got to say nice things. Jay Saldi, I saw him in a preseason game with the Cowboys this year in Texans, and he's like, hey, I got a boy playing over Texas Tech. He's a good player. You got to talk him up. You talk about parents. One of these days, you think Andre will be, say, hey, say something about my boy.
That's right. Trying to get a plug for your little ones. That's right. Have to.
Got to get Andre married first. Here's Candido keeping the football down at the 22-yard line.
Hey, next subject.
I'm helping you, man. I'm helping you.
And you know what, Jeff? Last night I offered to be his entourage last night at dinner. I said, hey, I'll walk around and open doors for you.
Yeah, I've been the wingman now for 5 months. Tonight, Capital One Bowl Week action continues there on ESPN at 8 Eastern. 2 of the top 14 teams in the country meet. Roy Williams, Cedric Benson, and Vince Young. Number 5, Texas taking on Washington State. We did Texas a long time ago, Andre.
Yeah, Benson Young, future Heisman guy, trust me. He has got Heisman talent.
And it's incomplete on 3rd down. Jason Tomlinson was the target.
Yeah, that Texas football team in the Holiday Bowl, people ask, what do you think about it? Hey, anything usually happens, and everything happens in the Holiday Bowl. But Washington State better show up tonight. If they don't, Texas has the talent and the ability to run over.
Roy Williams, Cedric Benson, Vincent Young, the big 3. Yeah, they have it at Texas.
How about that Holiday Bowl with Brigham Young and SMU, right?
I can't remember that. Thanks for bringing it up.
John Skaggs here. Second punt, and this is a good one.
Good punt.
Nice spiral turning over. Wes Welker. And they got the return on. Here we go. Penalty marker. And that is coming back. 53-yard punt and a 3-yard return.
When you punt the football to Mr. Welker, you better have coverage. And I'm sure they've talked about that. Texas Tech has really played a nice game, but I tip my cap to Navy as well. And like Paul Johnson told us on the bench yesterday watching practice, we plan on showing up and playing.
Yeah, and they did. I mean, they came in, they fought hard, and this was long from being over in their minds. I mean, it really is. They're going to fight until there's zeros everywhere.
And recruiting is so important in the Texas area for the academies. they get a lot of high school kids that are interested in Navy, Air Force, and Army.
Well, I was going to say, you know, this is really an upswing, I think, in service academy
There are
football.
2 fouls on the play. Holding on the return team during the return. That penalty's declined. Illegal block in the back on the return team during the return. That penalty will be enforced. 10 yards to the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, you take a look at what Paul Johnson has done here, and Fisher to Berry at Air Force has been so terrific over the last 20 years. And now you got Bobby Ross at Army, which changes the dynamic. He's 67 years old, but what a great football coach he has been.
I don't care what his age is. You know, the background he has, the history he has. Also talk to his mom and dad about integrity and about really coming in and making a difference in their lives.
Bobby Ross from Citadel knows all about the military. Interesting to see how he fares at Army. Here is Symons throwing. And it is complete. Out to the 22-yard line is Mickey Peters, who has a touchdown in this football game. He gets 8. That'll bring up 2nd and 2, and we are inside 7 minutes to play.
There's the Peters guy, right? Okay,
there you go.
Done your part.
That's right.
All right, way to go.
That's right. How about the block? When you throw that pass on the perimeter like that, the blocks of the outside guys, Carlos Francis just occupying the corner long enough for him to just turn up and get 8-9 yards every time they've run that play pretty much. Receivers blocking for other guys on the team, boy, that makes for big plays.
2nd and 1 for Texas Tech. Comfortably ahead of Navy. Symons looking left and right, and another strike. Good throw. Carlos Francis from Fort Worth. A senior at 5'10", 195. He gets 12 yards. Ben Matthews on the tackle, the right inside linebacker, the senior from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you talk a lot about quarterbacks being in rhythm. B.J. Symons is in that rhythm right now. You get in the zone throwing the football, and there's not a throw on the field that once you're in it that you feel like you can't make. He's making every throw right now.
I think he stepped in the zone September 1st.
Oh, man.
Another 466 yards in the air right now for B.J. Symons. And out of that formation, more coming. And this time incomplete. Mickey Peters, ball skips off his hands, out of bounds. All right, the EV1.net Houston Bowl trivia question. Texas Tech has 5 players with at least 60 receptions. How many of the remaining 116 Division 1A teams do not have a player with 60 receptions? Gentlemen?
There is
no gift.
That's complicated.
There's an ESPN hat for both of you. Give me the answer after this play.
I have no clue.
No clue.
Navy's defense gets very tired of it. Trying to set up the screen, deflected, and incomplete. Eddie Carlton, fine football player, the outside linebacker, got his hand on the ball. Here's the answer.
I'm going to say 78.
I'm going to go with 49. 49.
Oh, C. 65.
65. That wasn't my final answer.
Squashed right in between 78 and
I'd like to thank both of you Texans for joining us. Bring in somebody else, would you? Roger Staubach's over there. He would have known that.
Well, we were out eating food last night. We weren't reading that fine print.
Too much Tex-Mex for you guys. 3rd down for Texas Tech. Symons out of the pocket. Now firing long. One-on-one coverage out there, and it's incomplete. Carlos Francis, and there's a penalty marker at the 15. And that's going to go against Frazier. What do you think about putting the ball up when you're up by 17 here with 5+ to play? You like that idea?
Well, you're in an offense like that. You really don't have a run-out-the-clock kind of deal, and you have to start games. You know, you have to finish games like you start them if you're in that offense. And sometimes, you know, if a guy's running wide open, your instincts tell you to throw the football.
Yeah, he did just barely got him there. And I think, you know what, Jeff?
On the defense. 15-yard penalty, previous 5, automatic first down.
And Andre's right about that. This is their offense. This is who they are, what they are. But you can run the football. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you can. I mean, but
you believe the other way, Andre. I know listening to you over the months in the car ride.
Let me say this.
I know that.
I watched and announced a game, one of my first games ever in radio when I was doing SMU from back to that building. And I watched where those Houston Cougars scored 95 points.
I was on the bench. I was on the bench at halftime.
Absolutely. Six touchdowns in the first half.
You guys made Spurrier look merciful. Here's the handoff on the ground. Johnny Mack. And Mack inside the 40. He gets about 7 yards. Here's Dave Ryan.
Jeff, an incredible family tradition with Texas Tech football comes to an end today, at least for quite a while. Senior holder and receiver Dupree Scoble plays his final game, ending a string of 12 straight years with at least one Scoble on the Tech roster. Dupree's older brothers Field and King preceded him at Tech. They're both receivers as well. Before that, their father John was a Tech quarterback in the 60s. He led the Red Raiders to a huge upset at Texas back in 1967. John's father, Field Scoble, was a longtime director of the Cotton Bowl, serving as the Bowl's chairman of team selections for 40 years. What a family tradition with Tech football.
He was known as Mr. Cotton Bowl forever and ever. Flea flicker. Up top. Uh-oh. Penalty markers. 1, 2, 3. Flea flicker now.
No, I don't know about that.
Come on.
I don't know about that.
That's bad.
I don't know about that. Now, come on, Mr. Leach. Come on now.
Yeah, that's...
Come on now. Well,
that's bad.
Yeah, I tried to defend it as much as I could. When you start running flea flickers.
No, that's bad.
Yikes.
Yeah, you can't do that. The competitor in me, I'd huddle up right now defensively.
And blitz everybody.
Make sure you know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Oh. And Navy is lucky to have a guy like Paul Johnson around, and Roger Staubach was saying that they've secured a pretty good deal with him, because I said, hey, Roger, y'all going to have a hard time holding on to this man. You know, he's going to be a real hot asset. He says, if we think we got him.
Famous last words in college coaching. 1st and 10 from the 28. Shotgun. Symons, another strike. And another first down. This is Mickey Peters. Peters to the 15, to about the 14. He gets 14 yards. 4:38 left in the ball game.
How about the arm strength of B.J. Symons? I mean, he can make every throw.
It's quick, isn't it?
It comes out. It's on a line. Man.
He's got great feet. His feet are always turned around, ready to go. And it's very impressive watching him play.
He is the bowl season record holder. I'll show you his yards in a moment. So 1st and 10, 4:22 left in the ball game. EV1.net Houston Bowl. It's been a lot of fun. Here's Symons. And run out of bounds is Carlos Francis. He gets 4 yards.
Well, see, Paul Johnson, he doesn't like what's going on here with Texas Tech throwing the football this much time. And he's sending corner blitzes now. They're coming after him.
Yeah, there he is. He's the guy in terms of this bowl season, most yards. And
how does that work with coaches? Long memory and things like this?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I know it worked for me as a player, and I can't imagine a coach not remembering it.
Everything in the sport's about payback. 2nd and 5. Here comes the blitz. Setting up the screen. Henderson. Inside. That's another 6 yards, and that's enough for a first down. Kevin Newsom came up from his free safety position. He's from Jacksonville, Florida, a freshman, 5'10", 170 pounds.
Screens really hurt Navy today, and their aggressiveness up front. And they have to be, though, Andre. They've got to come after the quarterback, but the right play calling by Texas Tech.
You can't sit back in zone all the time. It seems like Tech's been dialed in. Every time Navy decided to get a little bit aggressive on defense, here comes the screen. You got guys running off with receivers, offensive linemen letting guys go, and then all of a sudden you got those big guys in front of a little running back. Well, it makes for some big yards.
1st and goal for Texas Tech. Symons. And it is deflected. Anderson was the intended target. We were talking about Mike Leach. That's a really interesting resume. In 1989, he was coaching European football in Finland. And he said the thing about European players, everybody uses their feet to play games. So he had plenty of kickers, but he didn't have anybody who could throw the football.
I talked to him about breaking his offense down, where he got the ideas. He said the drop back part of it comes from BYU. The screen came from the run and shoot, Houston, and what we did. And then You know, he said he even stole a couple of screens from the Sacramento Surge to USFL. Montana, he went up there and stole some ideas from them. So it's a little bit of everything, you know, sprinkled in there. Well, they've been successful doing it, though.
Second and goal from the 4. Symons, quarterback keeper, and brought down in a hurry by Eddie Carthen. There will be none of that, says Carthen. No game.
Rod Gilmore, I was doing a game with him the other day, and he's got this white flag theory. If the opponent who's getting beaten pretty good, you know, suggests that they're kind of letting it go at themselves, right. And you too kind of put the sword away.
I don't think that would work with Mike Leach. You can wave white flag, white sword, whatever you want to wave, and he ain't going to let up.
Let me say this. I did the Army-Navy game 2 years ago, or last year, when Navy just drilled Army, and Paul Johnson didn't let up. So he may be getting a little bit back himself.
Third and goal, touchdown, Texas Tech. Mickey Peters, second touchdown of the ball game. And if there was any doubt before, there certainly is not now. And now a massive celebration in the end zone. Penalty flag.
That's bad. And Mike Leach doesn't like that at all.
The spirit of Joe Horn lives here in Reliant.
You know what? The more people talk about that, it just kind of spreads. You know what? It spreads like something bad. You know, it's like stink in a room. Just kind of keeps spreading.
I love college football because I don't have to watch crap like that.
That's right.
I love college football, and that is uncalled for. Man, that'll run a lot of people off.
It's a bad taste in your mouth. You know, they've played a good ball game. They don't need to do that stuff.
Mom and Dad, I'm live on ESPN. You have your rental car right outside the stadium.
Well, we sort this out. You know, they don't. I mean, are they going to give them multiple penalties, or that Canadian League rule, where if you have more than one, you just keep going back? No, you keep going back.
After the touchdown, there were 2 penalties. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the scoring team for excessive celebration, personal foul on the scoring team. Both penalties will be enforced on the kickoff.
They huddled up and found a way to enforce both of them. That's exactly what it was. That's why they spent so much time talking about it. They didn't like it either.
It's a new penalty in college football called 30 yards for bad taste.
Oh, man.
The Masked Rider. One of the great mascots in college sports. He's too good. One after attempt. And it is perfect. So Texas Tech 38, Navy 14, and B.J. Symons, I don't think there are any dissenting views that he is the MVP of the EV.net.
You know, the only thing I'd say about him would be in terms of the future, they'll knock his height. That'll be a knock on him. And we really haven't seen his mobility, if he has any in the pocket, you know?
You know, it's not like he's got to be with a gun like that. This guy can make all the throws. He's just got to be able to move just a little bit. You know, not 4 or 5 speeds straight ahead, but just the quicks in the pocket, buy himself a little time. I think he's got that.
Our Capital One player of the game, B.J. Symons, in his native Houston.
And, you know, when the game was close and he got drilled in the chops earlier on, he stayed in there, and 2 plays later, they'd scored. Not very tasteful.
Not tasteful at all.
Not well thought out.
0 style points.
Well, and I know this. I raised 2 boys, and if they ever get a chance to do something like that, I know they won't be doing that.
It's really, really uncalled for. There we go. They're going to kick it off. I don't know if I've ever seen a kickoff happen from the 10-yard line.
No, I haven't either.
How about that?
There are a lot of Texas Tech fans here at Reliant who have remained.
Navy runs it back here. They can celebrate on their own.
I guarantee
right back at you.
They won't be dropping a bomb in the middle of their huddle.
That's tasteless. It's stupid.
It was too good, and the kick taken by McGowan. And McGowan trying to find a little bit of room to midfield, and that's where he goes down. Navy will take over the football. It's a return of 19 yards. Micah Sweats, he's from Houston, a strong safety working on special teams. 33 days away from the Super Bowl here. It's going to be a great Super Bowl in Houston. Wonderful city. You talk about hosting a lot of great events. Houston is due. I hope the Super Bowl comes back here in the years ahead. Always a great time to be had in this great city.
Glad you're on board.
I had my own tour guide.
That's right. That's right. No, it should be a fantastic event.
Robert Dale Morgan is in charge of the Super Bowl here. He directed the efforts in Atlanta over the years. Did such a great job. On first down complete, Lionel Wesley. New quarterback is Aaron Polanco.
Kim Davis is on that Super Bowl committee, and she's done a fabulous job of organizing everything, getting everybody around the city fired up for it. And it's going to be a great event. She's Robert Dale Morgan's right hand in terms of handling everything around here.
Well, you know, these great new venues that are being built, the NFL wants to show them off to the country and to the world. And
I don't like cold weather Super Bowls, though. Sorry. 2nd and 4. On the ground, it's Brimage. And a somersault upended, if ever there was, by Vincent Meeks. He gets 13 yards, and that's enough for a first down. 2:22 left in the ball game. National champion. You guys like to do a little projection here early in 2003?
Well, you want me to go first?
You go first.
I like that wisdom there. So you shoot me down a little bit?
Right.
Hey, I like LSU's momentum. I do. I like LSU's momentum. The fact that it's more like a home game for them, and they have a lot of confidence coming out of the out of their conference play and how strong they are. And I think Michigan is playing extremely well, and there's a lot of people who are going to see that when they play against USC. Not like USC, but I mean Michigan's good.
Well, I agree with you on one. I agree that LSU's going to win that football game. And for that reason, it is a home game for them. They get fired up. They play Georgia and beat them pretty good. The other way, we've seen Michigan, and the emergence on the other side of Breeston, with Breeston on the other side, man, it opens some things up for them offensively, and they have been fantastic towards the end of the season.
Incomplete to Tony Lane. John Navarre's really found himself, too. I mean, this is a different-looking quarterback, I think, the second half of the season as opposed to the first.
That fourth quarter against Minnesota when they came back, that really set them up. That made their season, and it really hurt Minnesota because Minnesota had a good football team.
Yeah, they did.
Well, no matter which team you think is number one, the only place to see them play is on ABC, New Year's Day at 4:30 Eastern. The most talked-about bowl championship series in history begins as USC looks to prove their championship material against Michigan in the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
Get a chance with my ABC Saturday friends, John Saunders and Terry Bowden. We're going to go and do our studio shows from the Rose Bowl, and then we're going over to Sugar, and it's going to be a treat. It'll be a lot of fun this week.
Oh, that's going to be a blast.
It's going to be great.
Nick Wilson comes up with the football as clock running now, 1:16 left in the ball game.
This Polanco, last year you and I were doing the Notre Dame game. Yeah. In Navy Notre Dame, he came in like in the first series, wasn't it?
Yeah, Candido got hurt early in that football game, and boy, he played some fantastic football all afternoon long.
He'll be their guy next year. He's a junior, and it's a good guy to build around.
Yeah.
Eckel at fullback, so they've got some weapons coming back.
Polanco trying to get a touchdown. Oh, the official takes a nasty shot. Part of the double team. Is he okay?
Hope so.
Oh, my.
Hang in there, bud.
Oh, boy, did he take a shot. Wow. His head really snapped back, hitting the turf. Boy, this is hard to watch.
You don't see the back judge that often. He's looking inside, trying to. And it's almost like he just didn't see the pattern coming at him.
Oh,
man! And you know what? There's so many times you say, grass field. Thank goodness for grass fields because there's more give in that grass than there is some of these hard AstroTurfs.
Well, we'll take a break here. We'll come back as Texas Tech leads Navy.
Great news to see him
up and walking around. I mean, they brought out the stretcher for him. thinking that maybe you would not be doing that. Symons still in the football game. He's got 497 yards. Might it be to try to give him 500? I don't know. Leach Bangawanga on the give. He is from Brussels, Belgium. No game.
I don't think he'll be throwing any passes here. This is just to run the clock out.
Never know.
Yeah, but, you know, with that flea flicker a little bit earlier, you never know.
I would not say that with conviction at this point.
You never know.
He wanted to be able to bring him off the field.
All right, there we go.
Say goodbye and thanks.
Symons, 41 of 53, 497, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. He's your MVP. Capital One MVP.
Fellas, I've enjoyed working with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Craig, it was fun.
Enjoyed it, absolutely. Enjoyed it. The rest of the crew as well. Jim Giroli, our producer in the truck.
Great job by Jim, as always. Johnny Tyus, Brad Wilson.
You guys do a great job.
Mike Leach and Texas Tech rolling over Navy. 38-14 is the final here from Reliant Stadium. See Dave Ryan behind Coach Leach, talking with Paul Johnson. So let's give it to Dave right now.
Coach Leach, big celebration there. You got Dallas, maybe for the first time in your Texas Tech coaching career. Did that pretty much cap off a perfect day for you?
I don't know about the celebration. I wish we hadn't done the celebration penalty deal, but the water thing was fine until this block ice hit me in the head that big, so it went pretty good. But I'm really proud of these seniors and all the things that they've done in their career and all those things.
B.J. Symons, coach, almost 500 yards passing through the air, continuing to set records against the 4th best pass defense in Navy. Why was the pass game so successful today?
Well, I think that, I just think that we played together well as a team, and I can't say enough about our defense. I think our defense carried the day for our side of the ball, and one thing that I'll say about Navy is they're the hardest playing team that I've ever played against. They really played hard, and I can't say enough about how hard those guys played. And Coach Johnson, those guys are doing a great job.
First victory for Texas Tech in a bowl game in this state since 1952. You were here in Houston all week. Does it help recruiting? Does it help your program to be so successful in Houston?
I would assume it does. It's hard for me to gauge, but anytime you have exposure to a area that's a major recruiting base for us, I think it's a big deal.
Texas Tech bowl win for Mike Leach.
Dave, thank you very much. Craig James, Andre Ware, a great treat today being with you here in Houston.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Texas Tech over Navy, 38-14. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For summaries and stats of this game, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the Internet. I'm Jeff Hellinger. Now, let's join Reese Davis in our ESPN studio.
Okay, Jeff, and we are headed towards Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California. It's the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. As number 14, the Washington State Cougars, 9-3 on the year, take on the 5th-ranked Texas Longhorns, who are 10-2. And the best news we could give you, the 70% chance of rain is gone. Sun is shining. We got a beautiful night for a shootout. Kickoff coming up next.
I'm Jason Priestley. Join me.
It's an opportunity unlike any other. But don't forget, the dream ends January 2nd.
Across America, 'tis the season to celebrate college football. From city to city, the passion is unrivaled. Coast to coast and beyond, the nation comes alive for Capital One Bowl Week.